Unbreakables in the building. What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Joanna, what's up, beloved? Good morning. So good to see you. What's the latest and the greatest? What's going on? Good morning to you all. Good morning. Sandra, good morning to you. Queens in the building. Chancel's in the building. Let's go. Beauty P. What's going on? Peace and blessings to you all. Peace and blessings to you all. T. Benz is in the building. Miss T is in the building. Let's go. I appreciate that, beloved. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that, beloved. Peace and blessing to you all. All is well. All is well. All is well. All is well. Life is in a mess, and yet all is well. Strange paradox for sure. Strange paradox for sure. Good morning to you all. Reds in the building. Try Jack. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. ODA, that part right there. Observe, orient, decide, act, period. Divine's in the building. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. Spices in the building. Reds in the building. So good to see you all. Good morning, DMP. Valerie's in the building. Let's get it. What's going on? Sefe's in the building. What's up, family? Mindset Masters is deep in this bad boy. So I already know what's going on. Mindset Masters is deep in this bad boy. God's soldiers in the building. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. Got my Tara in the building. Can't guard her, can't stop her. Hugo's in the building. What's up, Hugo? Yep, I already know, Red. Trust me, I know. I already know. Lions is out right now. Silas is in the building. What's up, family? The Lions are out right now. Eat that chat up. You catch a hyena in the chat, light that hyena up. The hyenas are the ones that come through with the disrespect, come through with all that, man. Light that hyena up. If you catch a hyena in the chat, you better light that hyena up. And I read all the comments too. Just know that. I read everything that you guys say. All 4,000 comments, I read every single one of them. Tara will tell you that. If she don't tell you nothing else, she gonna tell you that. So light the hyenas up. They always got something to say. Because I would if I could. I'd be so locked in, man. I don't be having time to be, man. I'd be so locked in. Yeah, eat lead. Light them hyenas up, though. They got something to say. If they slick, get slick with them. Good morning, good morning, good morning again. Peace and blessings to you all. Peace and blessings to you all. What's up, Coco? So good to see you. Monica is in the building. What's up, Monica? Just the key. It's so good to see you. Johnny's in the building. What's up? What's up? So good to see you all. Got my D in the building. Becky's in the building. What's up, beloved? So good to see you. Kev's in the building. Yeah. Aria Flame, I see you. Yeah. Aquarian Goddess is in the building. Let's get it. What's up, beloved? So good to see you guys. Happy Friday to you all. Happy Friday to you all. Happy Friday to you all. Let me see how we're looking. All right, you guys, we're gonna get ready to pull out of here, man. We got some mountains to climb. You said you had a dream I got married? That was a powerful dream right there. That was a powerful dream right there, boy. How bad, boy. Rich, what's up, Rich? So good to see you, family. So good to see Prashan's in the building. So good to see you. Um, yeah, that was a powerful dream right there, D. Um, let me see. How we looking? Okay. Yeah, we gotta get ready to pull this train out. That part right there, Valerie, you already know. Let's get busy getting busy, Valerie. Let's get busy getting busy. Because I is in the building. What's up, beloved? Let's get busy getting busy. Um, boom. Type me in the comments real quick if this is your very first time on a live. My live streams should come with a warning label. They really should. If you are allergic to the truth, uh, you shouldn't be here. This is not where you want to be. Let me just warn you right now. If you are allergic to the truth, you may want to pull away. You got time. You got time. If you are allergic to hearing what's real, this is not the live stream for you, I promise you. Angie, I appreciate that, beloved. Do me a favor real quick, you guys, and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Share the live to your stories, please, if you haven't already done so. Angie, I appreciate that, beloved. Thank you. Again, share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. I tell you guys, again, my live should come with a warning label. They really should. They really should. I'm like a martial arts instructor, for your mind though. Think about me. If you've never been on a live stream with me, just picture that in your mind. I'm like a martial arts instructor. The martial arts instructor, his or her job is to come at you. His or her job is to put you in the most uncomfortable positions. His or her job is to challenge you in that moment. Not challenge you in ways that belittle you, not challenge you in ways that disrespect you, but challenge you in ways so that you can become the greatest and most powerful version of yourself, period. That's why you go to the martial arts instructor. That's why you go. My job is to help you to get that black belt. With mindset, get your black belt in emotional intelligence, get your black belt in self-mastery, get your black belt in self-awareness. So the world no longer has power over you. Your emotions don't have power over you. People don't have power over you. What people say about you has no power. You got to get your black belt in that. And that's pretty much, what I coach and what I teach with respect to self-awareness and self-mastery. It's teaching you how to get your black belt, all things life, all things mastery, so that you understand how to manifest the life you want to, that you understand how to become the most authentic version of yourself, so that you understand how to tap into unconditional love and what's potentially blocking that, so that you have mastery over belief and you have mastery over understanding what faith is, what wisdom is, what emotional intelligence is. What self-awareness is, what self-mastery is. You understand all of the tools, you understand everything that you were given so that you can become the greatest and most powerful version of yourself, because that's what it's all about. Life is a single player game. Why do we fail at life? Because we play it at a multiplayer level. That's why we fail. 9 out of 10 people, you're playing it at a multiplayer level, and that's why you're not winning the game. Because you're worried about what people think. You're in other people's business. You all in celebrity gossip. You all caught up in what's going on this side of the world. You focusing on things where you have no control. You're focusing on things where you have no power. And you leak power the moment you start focusing on something that you can't impact the outcome of the situation. You leak power. You lose power. And a lot of people don't understand that. Again, life is a single player game. You are here to build your life. That's why you're here. It's all utilization apparatus. That's why you are here. You are here to transform your life into something that becomes so powerful that other people are going to want to replicate that. Other people are going to want to, connect with you, get to know you, be inspired by you, be motivated by you, and all of these other things like that. That's why you're here. That's it. That's why you're here. That's why you were born. That's why God created you. To become something so powerful that people would want to replicate what you do, how you do what you do, how'd you learn that, how did you do this, how did you do that. That's the mistake that we make. We're so caught up on creating some external business. We're so caught up on creating some online presence. We're so caught up on creating some brick and mortar, some external structure so that people can marvel at the external structure. You are the structure that people are supposed to marvel at, not some external structure. Damn the external structure. We'll build that later. Let's build the first structure that God gave you. How about we focus on that? Everybody is so caught up trying to build some external structure. Oh, I got an online business, or oh, I got some coaching business, or oh, I built this building, or oh, I created all of this. You're look what I'm doing. Your power is going away from you. He wants you to build you. Okay, that's wonderful that we go to your hotel and we marvel at the hotel. Let me tell you something you ain't never done in the history of your life. Just to qualify my point, let me tell you something you ain't never done in the history of your life. And I wasn't even there. I'm gonna tell you what you didn't do. You ain't never went to Las Vegas and said, "Can I meet the owner of the Bellagio?" Never in your life have you went to Las Vegas and walked through that casino and said, "Man, I can't wait to meet the owner." You ain't never said that. Let me tell you what else you didn't say. You ain't never went to the owner of that McDonald's and said, "I would love to meet the owner of the McDonald's." Did you benefit from the McDonald's? Yeah, you benefited from the McDonald's, but you ain't never asked to meet the owner because it's not impressive. The McDonald's is not what's going to transform your life. The person that created the McDonald's is what can transform your life. That's what's important, but we don't understand that. You ain't never went to some nail salon and said, "Oh, I can't wait to meet the owner of this salon." You ain't never said that before. See, it doesn't matter what you build from an external perspective, beloved, because nobody cares about that. People only want to benefit from that. They don't give a damn about you. What you got to understand is you need to build you, because when you build you, when that person comes in contact with you, now I'm transformed forever. I'm not transformed when I go to the McDonald's. I'm not transformed when I go to the hotel. I'm not transformed when I go to your little nail salon. I'm not transformed when I go to your barber shop. That don't transform me. What transforms me is when I meet you. That's what transforms me. The moment I meet you and you become the most powerful version of yourself, when I meet you, you can change my whole life. You can change the way I look at life. You can change the way I think about it. You can change the way I show up. McDonald's can't do that. Amazon can't do that. Walmart can't do that. Mercedes-Benz can't do that. Yeah, it's a beautiful structure, but you guess what? You don't know the person who's behind all of that, because none of that's what's important. What's important is that person building themselves. That's what it was all about. That's what it was all about. God is like, that's wonderful that you built the structure, beloved, but you didn't ever build yourself. You put all that focus, all that energy, all that attention on something external. Yeah, people benefited from it, but you never built yourself. Never built yourself. And we do that because we want to have a seat at the table of what society calls success. We do that because we want people to marvel at us. We do that because we want people to be so impressed with us. That's why we do it. We don't do it because that's something that we really want to do. We do that because, again, we can go and you can be great at the wrong thing in life. You can be badass at the wrong thing. The same way that you can fall in love with the wrong person. Some of you guys on here now, you fell in love with the wrong person. Some of you guys are in love with the wrong person right now. Just to qualify my point. You in love with a person, can't take your life any further than where it is right now. That's why you wake up unhappy, wake up stressed out, wake up not loving your life, wake up all these things because you're waking up next to the wrong person. Too much truth. Truth knocking at the door. Come on, Rich. That's what it's all about, beloved. That's what it's all about. Let me build me first. Then I go build the McDonald's. Then I go build the hotel. Then I go build the fill in the blank. But I got to build the first structure that he gave me. I got to build the first business that he gave me was me. My life is the business. Then it gives birth to all of the other businesses. I'm the original business. And then I give birth to the McDonald's. I give birth to the hotel. I give birth to the nail salon. I give birth to the barbershop. I give birth to the fill in the blank. And I got to build the first business first, because this is the one that matters. This is the one that can change the world. This is the only one that can change the world. The one you walking around with right now, the one you are desensitized to. I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that, Chazelle. I appreciate that, beloved. Brianna, what's up, beloved? Yeah, you the first business that you were ever supposed to build. You the most difficult one. That's the reason why we don't do it. It's easier to build the external business. That's the easiest thing in the world. The hardest one to build is you. And that is the most impressive one. Who you want to meet? The person that owned the McDonald's, or the person that, I mean, you want to see the McDonald's, or you want to meet the one that built it? That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. The one that built it is the one that can transform your life. The McDonald's is only an extension of the one that built it. That's what I'm saying. So when you transform yourself into the most powerful version of you, I can meet this person and transform this person through self-awareness, through self-mastery, through all of these things where people aren't walking around in pain. That was the whole point. So if people meet your business and they never meet you, then you fail, beloved. Yeah, I met the business, but you ain't met the man behind it. The man behind it is who you wanted to meet. The business is just an extension of the man behind it or the woman behind it. So what was it all for? I'm just asking. Ellie, what's up, beloved? All right, listen. Yeah, you got to build you first, because that's the one that's most impressive. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'll go to your business later, but let me meet the one that built it. Let me meet you first. That's what the power is. Yeah, let's get busy getting busy. Boom. What's up, Mimi? So good to see you. Real quick again, if for type me in the comments if this is your very first time on the live stream with me. Let me do a quick intro, and then we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna pull this train out of this bad boy. Type me in the comments real quick if this is your very first time. Share the live to your stories, you guys. First time, awesome. Affluent, I see. Share the live to your stories real quick, you guys, if you haven't already done so. Yeah, the business. I mean, it's like I said, the business is wonderful, but it's Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Real quick, my name is Jordan Williams. I'm a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, relationship mastery, consciousness, emotional intelligence. I specialize spiritual intelligence. I specialize in helping my students and clients all over the world to become the greatest, strongest, and most powerful versions of themselves. This is Lion School. I only teach strength. I teach power. I am also the best-selling author of this book, The Secret of Awareness. How powerful are you ready to be? This book is a bestseller. The book's available on Amazon. I am not here to push the book right now, but if you are looking for a book that has the potential to transform your life, that book is it. Why did I use the word potential? Because everything is about application. Will the book change your life? Yeah, it'll change the hell out of your life, but not if you don't apply it. So if you don't apply what you're learning, it's not going to change your life. And that's the reason why I had to throw that word potential in there. But if you apply what you learn in the book, it'll transform your entire life. Transform, I said. So that's that on that. All right, let's get into this live. Let's get into this live. Yeah, application is everything. It really is. Application is everything. Everything else is just noise. People don't become the most powerful versions of themselves because they don't apply what they're learning. And the reason why nothing changes is because nothing outside of you ever had the power. That's the real problem. The reason why nothing in your life is changing, if you feel stuck, is because nothing outside of you ever had the power. And you trying to change things from an outside perspective. But it's not your outside that needs to change. What you don't understand is that reality is just your printer. That's all it is. Reality is your printer. I'll give you a great example of what I mean. If you are on your laptop, your tablet, whatever it is you use, and you're getting ready to print something out, the moment you go to hit print, right? The moment you go and hit print, you know, whatever was there, whatever you were working on is getting ready to come out of the printer. The printer doesn't have a dog in the fight either way. The printer is just the result. But when you pull that paper out of the printer, you notice that there's a typo there. And so you take an eraser, you trying to erase the typo. And then you go back over to the computer again and you hit print. Paper comes out of the computer, out of the printer. You see the typo still there. You grab the eraser again and you're trying to erase it. But the problem is not in the printer. The problem is happening in the computer. The problem is happening with the program. You don't need to focus on the printer. Reality is only your printer. Whatever you see happening in your external world is only a reflection of what's happening in your internal world. Whatever it is you see that's happening in your relationship is only a reflection of what's happening in your mind. Whatever it is that's happening at your job is a reflection of what's happening in your mind. The way you are looking at your past is all coming from what's happening in your mind. You don't need to focus on the printer. You don't need to focus on reality. You have to focus on the program. Reality is only reflecting the program back to you. And when you don't understand that, you trying to change what's happening in the printer. The printer is not the problem. Change the program. When I change the program, I simultaneously change the printer. And that's why most people are stuck, because you're trying to change the wrong thing. You focus on the wrong thing. Now you got to change you. You don't need to change your significant other. You need to change you. You don't need to change your job. You need to change you. You don't need to change people. You need to change you. Why? Because you're taking the program and you're projecting it onto your relationship. You're projecting it onto the job. You're projecting it onto society. You're projecting it onto other people. You don't see the world as it is. You see the world as you are, because you're seeing it through the program. It's like a real computer. A real computer is operating off of the program. It can only go off of what's in the program. It can't create a result for you that's not there. Humanly impossible. Now, when you add new information to the computer, when you add new software to the computer, it's going to give you a different result. But the only result that it can produce right now is what you have programmed it to produce. You are who you have trained yourself to be, beloved. That's who you are in this moment. Who you are in this moment is exactly who you trained yourself to be. Based upon what you've normalized, based upon what you tolerate, based upon what you settle for, based upon whether or not you walk around pretending, based upon the information that you've added to the computer. You can have more because you can become more. Period. But whatever your results, see, here's what we don't understand. Here's what we don't understand. Every single person right now, we all hear about the word potential. You hear people talking about it all the time. Potential, potential, potential. I gotta make it to my potential. I gotta reach my potential. I want to make it to reach my full potential. Okay, all of that's wonderful. But you're standing in your potential right now. That's what's important for you to understand. You are standing in your potential right now. In this moment, you are the best of everything you will ever be in the history of your life in this moment. That doesn't mean you can't be something different 5 minutes from now. But in this moment, you are the best of everything you are ever going to be. You are the strongest you are ever going to be in this moment. You are the smartest you are ever going to be in this moment. You are the most handsome or the most prettiest you will ever be in this moment. So you put yourself in park. You take inventory of your life. This is why self-observation is so important. You take inventory of your life. You're standing in your potential right now. And if you don't like your right now, you won't like your tomorrow. You won't like your later on. You won't like your next year. Because if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So you're standing in your potential right now. So if you don't change the program, just understand you're looking at your whole future right now. But see, you're looking at it. Your tomorrow gonna look exactly like your today unless you change. How do I make my tomorrow better? By making my today better. How do I make my tomorrow better? By adding something different to my today. If I don't add anything different to my today, how can my tomorrow be better? If I ain't adding nothing different to my today. How do I change my life? You got to change your mindset, because your current mindset is what's building your life right now. It's how you change your life. So I say this all the time. Leave people alone. People are not your problem. People are not the problem. What you project onto people is the problem. The fact that you need them to fit into your concept of what a good person is the problem. The fact that you have should stories with respect to how you need them to perform is the problem. The fact that you have placed psychological contracts and expectations on them is the problem. People are not your problem. Your program is the problem. And if you don't change the program, nothing outside of you will change. Then you got to have, Leonard, what's up, beloved? You need self-awareness in your life ASAP. People don't understand that. The moment I became self-aware, then I stopped, man, I don't try to change nobody. I accept every single person exactly as they are. Same way when you walk in the garden. When you walk in the garden, you got some yellow roses, you got some red roses, you might have some pink, right? You may have some white. Wonderful. People are the same way. So I don't, the same way, I'm not going to go try to make that red rose be a yellow one and the yellow rose be a white one and the white rose be a pink one. The same way I'm not trying to change the color of that flower is the same way you don't try to change people. You don't try to change people. You accept people, but you don't try to change them because there's nothing to change. That person is on their own spiritual path. They're on their own spiritual journey that you don't know anything about. You either like the person that you're seeing or you don't. If you don't like that person, you detach yourself from the person. But you don't try to change the person. Same thing with your relationship. If you don't like what's happening in the relationship, remove yourself from the relationship. But you can't change the person, and you got to change yourself. And if you're not willing to change yourself, then change the situation. I'm telling you, we got to accept people for who and what they are. That person is either everything you need them to be or they're not. And if they're not, move on from the person. And then we talk about what we talking about here. Ah, man, coach, I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. I'm not this. I'm not that. Change the program. And if you don't want to change the program, change the person in the program. Just remove yourself from the situation. But what we don't understand is every person is operating at full capacity. So whatever that person is giving you, just the same way I just said, you're operating in your potential right now. You are the best of everything you are ever going to be. You're operating in your full potential right now. And so because you're operating in your full potential, so is your partner, whoever that person may be. So if that person is not everything that you want, need, and desire, then go and get yourself a person that's going to be everything you want, need, and desire. Period. Nothing to complain about. We make life harder than it is because we're trying to change the person. But even if you get that person to change, they're no longer operating out of their authenticity because they've transformed themselves into something that you needed them to be so that you can be happy and you can feel fulfilled and you can be satisfied and you can be at peace and all of that. But the person is the shell of themselves now because you changed the model. So yeah, they change. You happy, but now the person isn't operating out of their authenticity because now they got to walk around pretending for you. That part right there, I like that. Potential turns into girlfriend and indirects with. Right. So Destiny, what's up, beloved? So yeah, that's all I'm saying, man. It's just, it's we again, we make life so hard, man. We make life harder than it needs to be. Everything is fine, all is well. I say that all the time. I don't think you guys really understand what that means. That's really one of the most powerful things that you can say when you really understand that all is well. The mess is always in your mind. It's never in reality. So your problems are only in your mind. Your problems don't live anywhere else. Your problems are not in your neighbor's mind. They're not in your significant other's mind. They're not in your friend's mind. They're not in your family's mind. Your problems are all only in your mind. That's the only place your problems exist. So when you're looking out at the world, you see in the world through the filter of your problems. When you're looking out at the world, you see the world through the filter of your pain, or through the filter of your wounds, or through the filter of your trauma, or through the filter of your ego. You don't see all them filters? That's why you can't enjoy life, because you got too many filters on it. There's all them filters that reality has to pass through just to get to your essence. It's got to pass through your ego. It's got to pass through your programming and conditioning. It's got to pass through your masks. It's got to pass through all of the pretending. By the time reality gets to you, it's like, man, I'm contaminated now. We didn't alter the whole thing. That's why awareness is so important, because you're not seeing reality as it is. Spartan Dre, what's up, family? So good to see you. So good to see you, family. All right, let me get into this live, because ain't none of this about the live. Let me get into this live. But it's the same way when you listen to people. We think we listening to people. You don't hear people. We really don't. When you self-aware, when you lack self-awareness, the person that lacks self-awareness, they're listening through their pain, they're listening through their triggers, they're listening through their wounds, they're listening to confirm what they believe to be true. And the moment that they hear you say something that's out of alignment with what they believe to be true, they stop listening in that moment. So when you're talking to that person, your words are going through all of these filters before it lands on the person. And as you're talking, the person is thinking. Sometimes they're thinking about what they want to say next. But very rarely is the person listening to you. Now, they might be and yeah, I hear yous and all of that. You might be getting all of that interaction, but the person is really not listening to you, because they're either listening to the response, or they're listening to see if what you're saying already aligns with something that they believe to be true. And it's just so important for us to understand that. We're not really experiencing reality. We're experiencing our thoughts about reality. Very few people experience reality. What you're experiencing is what you think about reality, not reality, but what you think about it. Just let that sit with you for a second. Because we always projecting our thoughts onto reality. We're always projecting our assumptions. We're always projecting our opinions. We're always projecting our should stories. We're always projecting our ego and our programming and conditioning. Just look at all the filters you use to see reality through. See, we're not suffering from life. We're suffering from our perception of it. All right, let's get busy. I'm just trying to show you how to be one of the top 1%. That's really the only reason why I'm in your life, so that you can really see how to become one of the top 1%. And I'm talking about one of the top 1% in history. I'm not talking about one of the top 1% with respect to the people that are alive on this planet right now. I'm talking about one of the top 1% historically speaking, because there's a very small number of people that have actually had a spiritual awakening. You think it's something you thinking it's cute. See, most people, 8 out of 10 people on this app, you doing it because it's popular. You doing it because it's the thing. See, when I started this journey, nobody was doing this. What I'm doing right now, nobody was doing this. Nobody. I said nobody. Everybody thought I was crazy. Nobody was doing it. I said nobody. People thought I was crazy. All of a sudden, it's the popular thing now. It's all over the place. Popular thing now. Nobody was doing it. Dr. King was not teaching self-awareness. Malcolm X was not teaching self-awareness. Gandhi was not teaching self-awareness. Mother Teresa was not teaching self-awareness. Let me bring it to the modern era. Tony Robbins was not teaching self-awareness. E.T. was not teaching self-awareness. Mel Robbins was not teaching self-awareness. All these people weren't teaching self-awareness. Yeah, they was motivating people. Yeah, they were inspiring people, but they weren't teaching awareness. And if you're not teaching it, then you don't know it. Because when you become self-aware, that's all you're going to do is want to teach it. All you're going to want to do is share it with the world. You ain't going to know how to not do it. You won't know how to not do it. That's how I know, because self-awareness is service. I don't even have to ask you whether or not you're self-aware. I just look at the fact whether you're serving or not. If you're not serving, your behavior tells me more than your words ever will. Your patterns tell me who you are. Your words don't tell me anything. Your words can rock me to sleep. Look back historically speaking. All them people that I just named were not teaching self-awareness. None of them. We still talking about them, but none of them were teaching it. Well, why weren't they teaching it? Because they didn't have it themselves. I'm gonna teach you something I ain't in possession of. So you have an opportunity to become more powerful than all of the people that I just named. Will you take advantage of it? Are you going to play around with it because it's cute right now and everybody is on it? I'm PCS when it comes to self-awareness. I know the people that are PCS when it comes to self-awareness. And then I know the people that are playing around with it because it's cute. I know the difference between the two. I won't out you and I won't say anything. I'll just look at you. But I know the difference between, I know the ones that's really doing the work for real. See, because I don't need an alarm clock. That's what you got to understand about me. My shadow boxing sessions used to go for 8 hours strong. Now we wasn't going at all that 8 hours at one time. We might go 2 hours, take a break. We're going to come back and do another 2 hours, take a break. Because we understood, man, the world is, we trying to change the world for real. We don't do it when it was convenient. We didn't do it when we could find the time. We didn't do it on a weekend. We didn't do it on a Monday. We did it every day, 7 days a week, and I still shadow box. And I don't know too many people on the planet that can sit in front of me. And I shadow box every day still. Period. Because the weight of your purpose, I tell you guys this all the time, the heaviest thing you will ever carry in life is the weight of your purpose. I ain't got time for excuses. I ain't got time. I don't need alarm clocks. I don't need to be pumped up. I don't need to be reminded. I don't need to be any of that. None of that. When you in this for real, you don't need somebody to tap you on the shoulder. When you in this for real, you don't need to be reminded. When you in this for real, you don't lay in the bed once your alarm clock go off. Once that alarm clock go off, you spring out of bed because you understand the weight of your purpose. You understand that there's somebody out in the world that needs to meet you. There's somebody out in the world that's in the dark in that moment, and you represent the light. That's why God sent you here. That's why you here. Ain't got nothing to do with chasing people. Has nothing to do with your relationship. Has nothing to do with your popularity. Has nothing to do with your fame. Has nothing to do with you going viral on social media. Has nothing to do with who's in your comments and who's in your DMs. Has nothing to do with any of that. Has nothing to do with how pretty you are. Has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to get your nails done this weekend. Has nothing to do with any of that. Nothing is more important than the reason why you were created. Because the reason why you were created has nothing to do with you. The same way when you go get batteries, the batteries don't need themselves. The battery is the power. You need the batteries. Okay, well, you have batteries for every single person that you come in contact with. That person's battery might be out. You give that person a charge. This person's batteries might be out. You give that person a charge. That's what God created you for. You are the batteries. To all of the people that's walking around on 1%, barely making it, struggling in life, suffering in life unnecessarily, don't know why they're here, don't know why they're born, don't understand their purpose. That's why you're here. He sent you here to be the light. Period. Nothing is more important than that. Nothing is more important than that. Nothing is more important than why you were created. Nothing is more important than your purpose. Nothing. Give a damn what you made. Nothing is more important than your purpose. It's the only thing he cares about. He don't give a damn about your cars. He don't give a damn about how many certifications you have. He don't give a damn about how many degrees you hold. All of that's worldly. What he's focused on is, are you in alignment with your purpose? Or are you even on the journey to getting in alignment with your purpose? Are you doing what you're doing right now just because it's cute? Because it's popular? Because it's the in thing? Because it's trendy? Or are you in the game for real? Are you boots on the ground for real? Are you putting in the work for real? Are you serving for real? That's what it's about. I ain't talking about religion when I say serving. I'm talking about you are the religion. You know how powerful you are? Love is your only religion. That's what you are. Everything else is predicated on what you are. That's what you are. Every person throughout history told stories about love, told stories about divinity, told stories about what you are at your essence, beloved. Every church, all predicated on what you are at your, every self-help book, all predicated on what you are at your essence. Everything that's ever been written is predicated on what you are at your essence. That's where inspiration comes from, what you are at your essence. Motivation comes from what you are at your essence. Confidence comes from what you are at your essence. All of these things come from what you are at your essence. This is just breakfast for you. But if you don't wake up to who you are, you always thinking that these things are outside of you. I need to become more confident. I need to become more happy. I need to go and find love. I need to go and find peace. I need to go. You're looking outside of yourself for something that you've never lost, something that is time for you to discover. You haven't discovered who you are as of yet. You only discovered who you think you are. Jalen, what's up, family? I'm telling you, there's nothing. Let me say this to you real quick. Let me say this to you real quick. Beloved, nobody owes you an apology for anything. Nobody. There's nothing to forgive. No one owes you an apology for anything. This is what awareness is going to wake you up to. You don't need to forgive yourself for anything. You don't need to forgive your past. You don't need to forgive your parents. You don't need to forgive the people that have come in and out of your life, the people that have done this and done that to you. You don't need to forgive anyone. There's no one to forgive. Let me tell you why. Because every single thing that you have experienced leading up to this moment is all a part of your spiritual contract. Your spirit knew what it was going to experience before you were born. There's no one to forgive. There's nothing to be upset about. You need all of that and you want all of that when you're still asleep. Because you don't understand what's going on because you're thinking from the level of mind. Mind can't understand spirit. Mind doesn't know what spirit is here to do.
So when you have your spiritual awakening, it's going to be one of the best things in the world because you're going to understand there's no one to forgive. I don't need, let me give it to you in a way I know you don't miss it. Let me give it to you in a way I know you don't miss it. This might be the most important thing I say to you ever. I want you to imagine that you have never worked out in the history of your life. You ain't never doing a push-up. You ain't never done a squat. You ain't never done a sit-up. You've never done anything. And one day, you go and you hire a trainer. And when you hire this trainer, this is the best trainer in the world. He's transformed all these different people physically. And so you hire this trainer. And the trainer starts taking you through all of these different workouts. One more time, you ain't never worked out before. He's teaching you how to do sit-ups properly. He's teaching you how to do squats properly. He's teaching you how to do crunches. He's teaching you how to do all of these things. You're doing mountain climbers, you're doing burpees, you're doing all of these things. And when you get home, you start to feel all of this pain. I'm talking about you can barely move, you can barely walk because you're exercising muscles that you have never exercised before, that you've really never activated before. So you're in all of this pain. So you call a trainer and you're so angry. You're so upset with him. You're like, I'm in this pain. I can barely move. I can't go to work. I can't do this. I can't do that. And this trainer's saying, beloved, it's all a part of the process. The pain that you're experiencing is leading to growth. The pain that you're experiencing is going to lead to the body that you want. The pain that you're experiencing is transforming you. Yeah, but I can't move and I can't walk. And I can't sit up, and I can't do this. The pain, the trainer being a metaphor for God. The trainer is a metaphor for God. So he's saying, beloved, you asked me to be here. You asked me to have this human experience. You asked me to come and be a part of the solution. You asked me. The pain that you're experiencing is going to lead to your awakening. The pain that you're experiencing is the medicine that you came to heal. It's not the pain that's hurting you. It's the meaning that you assign to it. See, when you're experiencing emotional and psychological pain, all of that is neutral. What's hurting you is the story that you wrap around it. What's hurting you is the meaning that you attach to it. Pain doesn't have the power to hurt you. The meaning you assign to it does. Now go back to the personal trainer example. So now you all upset with the personal trainer. But what you don't understand is that the pain that you're experiencing from the physical workout is literally going to transform your body. It's going to give you the body that you want. But you're so upset that you never go back. You could have had the body that you want, but you let the pain stop you. That's the point not to be missed. And what's worse is you signed up for it, but your ignorance in that moment kept you blind. Not the trainer. He wasn't trying to hurt you. The pain was helping you, but you didn't understand that. You talking to your friends about the pain. You talking to your therapist about the pain, and they're all listening to you because they work out. They're all listening to you like that's a part of it. The pain's gonna go away. The pain is only temporary, just like your life. The pain in your life is only temporary, beloved. It's not permanent. What's making it permanent is the story that you keep adding to it. What's making it permanent is you reactivating the story. What's making it permanent is you reactivating the memory trace for it. It's already transformed and done the thing that it needed to do. It's the entry fee to your awakening. The most important thing in the world. But the pain is not what's hurting you. What's hurting you is the story you've wrapped around it. What's hurting you is the fact that you're identifying with it. That's what's hurting you. The meaning you apply to it. Think about what I'm saying. The emotional and psychological pain, it's neutral. It's not hurting you. Only the meaning you attach to it does. Only the story you wrap around it does. That's it. Now, the physical pain that you experience when you go to a real personal trainer, yeah, you feel that. But the emotional and psychological pain comes from the stories and comes from the meaning that we assign to it. It got nothing to do with the trainer. So you hurting yourself. Now, when you go to a real personal trainer and that person is putting you through all of those workouts, absolutely, you feel the physical pain. But that's not the kind of pain I'm talking about. That depression, that's mental. That anxiety, that's mental. That unhappiness, that's mental. All of that's coming from the story and the meaning. It got nothing to do with anything physical. And we don't understand it's all a part of it. So God is looking at us like everything that you've experienced leading up to this moment is all a part of what your spirit came here. The pain you heal becomes the medicine you bring to the world. Period. All right. Everybody catch that? So you have to understand that, it's all coming from you. Yeah, it's all coming from you. Like I said again, but there's no one to forgive. There's no one to be upset with. There's nothing in your life right now that you need to be angry about. You're only angry and you're only upset, like the personal trainer example. You're angry and you're upset because you don't understand what's going on. That's why you're angry and you upset. That's why you're frustrated. That's why you're walking around unhappy because you don't understand what's going on. Just like when you go to the gym. When you go to that real gym, you are mad at the trainer, never realizing and understanding that everything that the trainer is having you go through and experience is going to help you to become the most powerful version of yourself physically. Everything that you are experiencing in your life is going to help you to become the most powerful version of yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's all the same. But because you don't understand what's going on, you upset, you depressed. No, this is all a part of your spiritual contract, beloved. This is what you came here to heal. Everything, all of the failed relationships, the divorces, the people that cheated on you, the people that lied to you, the people that betrayed you, what your parents were or what they were, what your family may have been or what they were all things that you signed up for before you ever showed up here. And your failure to understand that has you looking at the situation through a negative filter. And the reason, and so I can never get to the right place if I've got the wrong filter. Never. Do me a favor real quick, you guys, and share the live here stories if you haven't already done so. Yeah, it's, but we don't understand that. Everything you've experienced in your life is what you came here to heal. Period. Let me give you something else. Let me qualify it. Let me just give you a different filter. I don't want you to change your life. I just want to give you a different filter to look at your life through. In awareness, there's something known as the veil of forgetting. And let me tell you why that's important. It's because once your spirit enters this body, it forgets about all of its powers. It forgets about its unconditional love. It forgets about how strong it is. It forgets about how powerful it is. It forgets about all of that. Why is that important? Think about a book, beloved. If you've read this book already, then there are not going to be any surprises in the book. There's no surprises in the book. So God puts us through that process where we have to rediscover what we are through all of the experiences that we go through once we get here. But if you're born and spirit knows how powerful you already are, you know you're not disconnected from God in any way, shape, or form. You know how strong you are. You know that you are eternal. You know you never die. You know all of these things. Then all of this would be pointless. It would all be pointless. So we go through what's known in awareness as the veil of forgetting. So when you're born, spirit goes through all of the processes of thinking that it's just a human being, just like you were thinking before you started this journey of self-awareness, that you're just this person. So one more time, think about a book. If you read the book, then there's no surprises in the book. So this is why spirit has to go through that veil of forgetting, because if you know that you're this powerful being, then you're like, oh, I'm not worried about that. There's nothing going to be this fear. Oh, I already know what's going to happen with that. Oh, this over here, this near-death accident, I already know what's going to happen with that. Oh, my parents, yeah, I already know what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah, there would be no surprises, beloved. There would be no surprises. So the whole process is about you remembering. Once your awareness gets elevated, the entire process is all about you remembering what you are. But you've already overcome everything. You've already grown. You've already transformed. There would be no surprises in life. All this would be pointless if you knew what you were the day you were born. There would be no point. Right? So that's what your awakening is really about. It's just about you remembering what you've always been. It's like a movie. If you've already seen the movie, then you know that there's a man that's getting ready to jump out from behind that wall. You know there's a shark getting ready to come and attack the lady. You know what's getting ready to happen with this mountain. You know all of the things. So it would make it all pointless. It would make everything pointless. So that's why you taking all the pain so serious. That's why you taking the people in your life so serious. That's why you taking everything that's happened in your life with your parents or with you taking it all so serious, because you've forgotten. But again, if you came here knowing what you are, knowing how powerful you are, knowing all of these things, then all of those things would instantly lose their power. They would have no more power. You would have no more power. That makes sense. Leticia, I appreciate that, beloved. Thank you, beloved. All right, boom. All right, let's get busy. You said that's what's happening in your life. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're just turning back to you're just returning back to what you've always been, and so, but again, you know, when you understand the veil of forgetting, you know, it's all about, you know, you not knowing how powerful you are, and you not knowing that you're an eternal being, and you not knowing that you're never disconnected from God. And because if you came in knowing all of that, again, life would lose all of its value. It would lose all of its meaning. You would look at fear like it was never a big thing. You would look at anxiety like it was never a big thing. You would look at depression like it was a big thing. These things would be so minuscule to me because you would know what you are. So what would be the purpose of you being here? What would be the purpose? If you came in knowing fear is this big, if you came in knowing depression is nothing, if you came in knowing anxiety is nothing, if you came in knowing your past is nothing, why would you even need to be here? So you have to go through that process. Again, it's called the veil of forgetting and awareness. All right, let's get busy. Hang on, you guys. Everybody got that? Do me a favor real quick, you guys, before we dive deep. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories real quick if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out.
We're almost an hour in. We're a little bit low on the likes. Let's get the likes up. So you haven't seen me pop up in forever? Yeah, it's crazy. It's love-hate relationship with TikTok, but I get it. I understand. I understand. Take the crookeds with the straights in life and everything will be beautiful. There are no problems in life. You hear what I just said? There are no problems in life. There are no problems in life. That's hurting you more than anything else. Your failure to understand that. There are no problems in life. There are just challenges and obstacles. Everything is a challenge and an obstacle. You need every problem. You need every problem. You need every challenge. You need every obstacle. That's all there is, beloved. You creating all these stories, you creating all these illusions, and you creating all this, you creating so much suffering because you don't understand what's going on. There are no problems in life. The moment you say problem, your whole vibrational frequency go down. That's one word that I would remove from my vocabulary instantly if I'm you, is the word problem. There are only challenges and obstacles, beloved. That's it. Everything that you call a problem is only something that's designed to unlock a version of yourself that you currently don't have access to. That's it. Every problem that enters your life, God is asking you to become the solution. Because when you become the solution not just for yourself, you become the solution for every single person that may come in contact with that problem, that may not know how to solve it at that time. That's why he gave it to you. The problem is a blessing. You looking at it as some negative thing. Again, life is not what hurts us. Our perspectives is what hurts us, not life. What you should be worried about is the day when you don't have problems. That's what you should be worried about. You shouldn't be worried about problems. You should be worried about the day when you don't have any. That's when you really have a problem. Because I can promise you something is terribly wrong. God has taken his hand off your life somehow, some way. The day you no longer have problems, you should be terrified. I'm talking about terrified, category 5 level of terror. All right, let's get busy getting busy. Again, real quick, you guys, before we dive deep, do me a favor and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up so that we can get the medicine out. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Happy Friday to all of the first and last time listeners. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you all. JBE, I appreciate that. Happy Friday to you all. Shirley, I appreciate that. All right, let's get busy. Boom. One of my favorite topics. We can only cope with things when they are present, not before they occur and not after they have already passed. Why don't people understand that? Why don't people understand that? You would think you in your mind, you're thinking, okay, well, that's common sense, coach. You're right. I totally agree with you. It's common sense. But that's not how people are moving. 9 out of 10 people have no understanding with respect to that. Because let me qualify that. There would be no depression if people really understood that. There would be no anxiety if people really understood that. There would be no worry or stress if people really understood that. So we ain't gonna sit here and play slow and act like everybody just knows that. We can say that, but saying it and knowing it it's two completely different things. Let me say that one more time. We can only cope with things when they are present, not before they occur and not after they have already passed. Because to focus on anything when you no longer have the power to create positive change or impact is showing your lack of self-awareness.
The moment you focus on something where you can't positively impact the outcome of that particular situation, you are showcasing your lack of self-awareness in that moment. And that's exactly what people are doing. That's why the depression is there. That's why the anxiety is there. That's why the overthinking is there. That's why all of those things are there. That's why it's all happening. So you would think, okay, well, that's common sense. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, you can say that, but saying it and really living that is two completely different things. And the moment you start to focus on something that you can no longer impact the outcome of the situation, you create your own suffering in that moment. The situation didn't create your suffering. The fact that you are focusing on a situation where you can't create positive change or impact is what creates the suffering. The present moment is the only moment that offers you the resources to deal with the situation. I can only deal with it in this moment. I can't deal with it in the future moment, and I can't deal with what happened in all of my yesterdays. I can only deal with it in this moment. Okay, where's my power? Do I have the power in this moment to positively impact the outcome of the situation? It's a simple yes or no. See, we walking around letting things rent space in our minds where we can't create any positive change with respect to the situation. That's what's hurting you. You focusing on things that's causing you to lose power. That's what God is trying to wake you up to. Beloved, you're losing power. Focusing on anything outside of this moment, you are losing power. Why? Because all there is this moment. There is no other moment. This is the forever now. This is the perpetual now. This is the ever unfolding now. That's what you have. You got to get out of psychological time. Psychological time is you've convinced yourself that there's some future. Psychological time is you've convinced yourself that there's some past. So you're operating out of the 50-50 zone where you're 50% of your body, your physical body is rooted in this moment, but you're either rooted in the future or you're rooted in the past, focusing on what might happen there, which means you losing all power. That's why most people are stuck. You're thinking about things that you can't change. You're thinking about things that you can't impact the outcome of the situation. Here's what you got to understand. When your mind is weak, every situation you view as a problem. When your mind is weak, you view every situation as a problem. When your mind is balanced, you view every situation as a challenge. When your mind is strong, you view every situation as an opportunity. You see the difference there? The self-aware person has a strong mind, so they're looking at every situation that happens to them as an opportunity. One more time, when your mind is weak, you view every situation as a problem. When your mind is balanced, you view every situation as a challenge. And when your mind is strong, you view every situation as an opportunity. So just look at the difference between the three. The majority of the people are in category number one. You're looking at everything as a problem because it's out of alignment with your programming and conditioning. The moment something is out of alignment with your programming and conditioning, you categorize it as a problem. But it's not a problem in reality. It's only a problem in your mind, which means that you lower your vibrational frequency, happiness out the window. Lower your vibrational frequency, peace out the window. Lower your vibrational frequency, unconditional love out the window. And you do this repeatedly. Most people are so good at this, you don't even realize that you're doing it. So the next time you call something a problem, just know that you just tapped into the weakest version of your mindset. I appreciate the gifts, beloved. Again, we are not victims of life. We are victims of our perspectives. You have never been a victim of life. You are a victim of your perspective. That's what's hurting you, not life. We need to separate the two. You are not a victim of life. You are a victim of your perspective, period.
but we're going to blame life. That's what we do. Oh, yeah, we're going to blame life because your ego is always looking for somebody else to blame. Your ego will never point the finger. Your ego will never do this. It'll never do this, right? So it's always looking for somebody else to blame. This is why we never grow. This is why we never transform. This is why we never become the most powerful version of ourselves, because we don't want to deal with that accountability. That requires accountability, and most people don't want to deal with that. Let me get to one of my favorite topics. This is kind of what kicked it off for me personally with respect to my self-awareness journey. Let me ask you guys a question. What are attachments? Let me just see what your opinion is. What are attachments? When you hear that word attachment, what pops into your mind? Let me just see where your level of self-awareness is before we dive deep. Things we want, like it. Yeah. What is an attachment to you? Don't go off what you think. I want to hear. What does it mean to you when you hear that word? What? Connections, illusion, bond. Anything that's outside of you. I like that. That's a good one. That's interesting. I like that. Holding on to something you think is yours. I like that, Tracy. I like that a lot, actually. Our ego. You said something. You said that. Man, you said something. Come on, Silver CEO. Come on, beloved. I mean, we can most definitely borrow what Silver CEO said. We can most definitely borrow that one. Here we go. Boom. This is important because most people, this is what you're struggling with, and I don't think we understand how deep attachments run. Attachments are emotional bonds formed with people, places, or even material possessions. One more time. Attachments are emotional bonds formed with people, places, or even material possessions. An attachment is like you taking something outside of you and you create this emotional bond with this particular thing to such a degree to where this thing is almost like it's a part of you, even though it's not physically connected to you. Mentally and emotionally, it is. So it's almost like an arm. It's almost like an extension of you, right? Like you've convinced yourself that you will not be happy without this thing. I'm talking about you are convinced that you need this thing. That could be some drug, that could be alcohol, that could be some addiction to something, that could be some person, your money, your reputation, your ego, your persona, your business. It can be a multitude of things. One more time, attachments are emotional bonds formed with people, places, and even material possessions. The attachment gets created by you because there was something that you weren't willing to give yourself due to all of your past trauma. The attachment gets created by you because there was something that you weren't willing to give yourself based upon whatever it is that happened in all of your yesterdays. And so you made the assumption, double down on that word assumption. And so you made the assumption that the thing you weren't willing to give yourself could be found in the world outside of you. And that was the moment you lost yourself. That was the moment it was over with for you. That was the moment you fouled out of the game. It was over. Oh yeah, you didn't see it that way at the time. Nope.
It was over. That was the beginning of the end in that moment. The moment that you had convinced yourself, the moment that you made the assumption that whatever it is you couldn't give yourself, weren't willing to give yourself, could be found outside of you. The happiness could be found outside of you. The peace could be found outside of you. The joy could be found outside of you. The love could be found outside of you. I need something. The moment that you went reaching, it was over with in that moment. It was over. So you went looking for it in other people. Whatever it was that you felt was missing in you, you went looking for it in someone else. But the other person never had the power to give you something that only you could give you, beloved. They never had the power. But you punished them for not being able to give you that. You said, you're not what I want. You're not what I need. You don't give me what I deserve. That person in your mind wasn't living up to your standards. They weren't living up to your expectations. Beloved, that was never their job. Their job wasn't to make you happy. Their job was never to make you feel fulfilled. Their job was never to make you feel complete. You looking at this person and you punishing this person for things that they didn't have the power to do for you, even if they wanted to. They didn't have that power, beloved. You don't make me happy, and you don't this, and you don't that, and all of these things. That was never their assignment. But you made it their assignment. Why? Because you're going off of your programming and conditioning. You're going off of what the world told you a relationship is supposed to be. And so you place those worldly expectations on this person. Do you know how hard it is for the average person to live up to their own expectations? Have you ever sat down and just thought about that? Think about how hard it is for you to change yourself. Give yourself 5 seconds right now. Just empty your mind. Think about how hard it is for you to change yourself. Think about how hard it is for you to show up for yourself consistently. Think about how hard it is for you to love yourself unconditionally. Think about how hard it is for you to always be everything you want, need, and desire for you. You struggle to be that for yourself. So how is this person going to be all of that for themselves and be it for you at the same time? You ever thought about that? I'm just giving you a different filter to look at it through. Think about just how hard it is for you to always do what you don't even do what you say you're going to do at half the time. All them times I'm going to start working out and then you don't do it. Oh, I'm going to start this business and then you don't do it. Oh, I'm going to do this and that and then you don't do it. Oh, I'm going to quit my job and find a different one and then you don't do it. Look at all the times when you don't even keep your word to yourself. Not because you're a bad person, but because life starts life in and things get in the way. But you hold that person to the highest standard that you don't even hold yourself to. See, you don't punish yourself when you don't come through for you. You don't punish yourself when you don't keep your word. You don't punish yourself when you're not loving yourself unconditionally. You don't punish yourself for who you transform into when you in the dark. You don't punish yourself for that. But you're going to punish that person. You don't punish yourself at all. Or you give yourself all kind of passes. I'm going to get in shape, then you fell off. I'm going to start eating clean, then you fell off. I'm going to start this diet, then you fell off. I'm going to do this over here, then you fell off. I'm going to write that book, and then you fell off. All the moments in life. See, people come in wearing the face of all of the times when you didn't show up for you. People come in wearing the face of all of the times when you didn't love yourself. People come in wearing the face of all of the times when you transform into a lesser version of yourself in the dark. That's what that person was doing. They were wearing the face of all of the moments in life when you didn't show up for yourself. That's all they were doing. Relationships are like spiritual MRI machines. And what they do is they mirror you back to you so that you can transform into the most powerful version of yourself. Right? So, one more time, the moment you went looking for something in someone else, yeah, Marissa, yeah, beloved, for real. So you went looking for it in other people, but the other person never had the power to give you something that you could only give yourself, but to your sleeping mind, to your sleeping mind, you thought they could. An attachment is a belief that you have convinced yourself of that you will not be happy without a certain person, without a certain place, without a certain thing. It's a belief. I'm not worried about the attachment. It's not why I'm here to talk to you today. I'm not worried about the attachment at all. What I'm worried about is the belief. Because me being an awakened person, I understand belief at a level that would blow your mind. I'm not worried about the attachment. I'm worried about the belief you put behind it. Because whatever you put belief behind, that's what's going to materialize. That's what's going to manifest. So yeah, the attachment is dangerous, but nothing is more dangerous than what you believe. Because you only see the world through your beliefs. That's how you see the world. You think you are seeing reality. You are seeing reality through what you believe about it. I qualify that. If you are a Christian, you think that your way is the way. So you see the world through that programming. So when you come in contact with the Muslim, you listen to them, but you're not really hearing them. You already did shut them down because what they're saying doesn't align with what you believe. Now that person could be telling you universal truth. They can be giving you the highest level of truth in that moment, and you'll shut it down. Not because they're lying to you, but because your belief will block it. Your belief will keep you blind to what they're saying. If you believe your partner is cheating on you, every move, every step, every time they reach for that phone, you will only look for what's wrong. You will only look for what confirms what you already believe to be true. So their behavior, see somebody else, if I take you out of the situation and I put somebody else in the situation and they see your partner moving the way your partner is moving, they're gonna be like, what is he doing? That's normal. He just reaching for his phone. He texting his friend. But to your mind, they texting that other person, they talking to somebody else, and all of these other things because you're seeing the situation through what you believe about it. But to somebody else, they're gonna be like, "What's wrong?" I don't know. They don't understand because they're not walking around with your belief system. Let me give it to you where I know you can't miss it. This is a true story. Let me give it to you where I know you can't miss it. There was a kid in Germany. He was a bright kid, But he got, he would get in trouble a lot and he would mess around in class. Them kids that are just so smart that sometimes they're too smart for their own good, right? So he'd stay up all night. He's 12, 13 years old. He'd stay up all night playing video games because his homework was easy for him. And he'd wake up in the morning, he played video games all night, even though he was supposed to be in the room studying, he played video games all night. Then he'd wake up in the morning, he'd knock his homework out, it was nothing to him. So he'd like to go to the back of the class, because he'd chit chat with all the other students and different things like that. But on this particular day, he had stayed up all night because his mom had gotten him a new video game. He stayed up all night playing the video game. So he was dog tired in the morning. So he went to class. When he got to the back of the class, he fell asleep. So he hears the bell go off. But when he looks up on the board, right? When he looks up on the chalkboard, there's a math problem there. Now, what he didn't know because he was asleep was that this teacher had challenged all of the students, and she told them, no one has ever solved this math problem before. Give it your best shot. So all of the students copied the math problem. They all took off. The kid in the back of the class that was really bright, he wakes up, he sees that in his mind, it's homework. He never heard the teacher say that it had never been solved before. He never heard that. So he didn't have that program. So he went home and he's doing his homework. And, he's doing the math problem, wakes up in the morning, he goes to class. The teacher said, did you guys turn in the assignment? They said, yeah, but we couldn't figure it out. He walked up at the end and handed her the paper. She's looking at the paper. And to her amazement, he had solved it. He had solved the problem that all of these adults couldn't solve. Well, how did he do it? Because no one had ever told him that he couldn't. See, all of the other students had already been programmed. So the moment that they ran into challenges, the moment that they ran into obstacles, the moment that they ran into any level of difficulty, they just gave up. And the reason why they gave up is because they already had been told that it couldn't be done. But he had never heard that. He was back there asleep. He didn't hear none of that. See, that's your mind. It can knock anything out. But the moment you say, I can't do it, the moment you say it's hard, the moment you say nobody's ever done it before, the moment you say nobody in my bloodline has ever been rich, and nobody in my bloodline has been that, and we ain't never been millionaires, well, you didn't shut it down. Your brain like you didn't foul me out the game. I would have solved the problem for you if you'd just let me believe. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. He solved the math problem that was said to be unsolvable at that time because he never heard that he couldn't. That's what God is trying to wake you up to. He said, I ain't never told you that you couldn't. You listening to the world. I sent you here to transform the world. You let somebody else tell you that you couldn't. I made you to be the most powerful thing walking. You let somebody else tell you that you couldn't. I sent you to be the light for everyone else. You let your past tell you that you couldn't. You ain't never heard me say that. God is like the school teacher in this example. He never told you that you couldn't. So I don't listen to people. I don't even want to hear what your opinion is. I don't want to know none of that because I don't need that poison in my mind. Some of you guys are in situations right now where you waking up next to a person and like, oh, I don't know if that's going to work. And, oh, that seemed hard. I mean, get all them people out your life. I'm telling you right now, you need people that think with that whole delusional mindset. People that think, yeah, we getting ready to go change the world. We getting ready to go transform the world. We going to figure out a way, find or make a way. It has to be your mindset. Find a way or make a way. Bottom line. But you will never become anything greater than you believe yourself to be. People will tell you all the time, oh, sky's the limit. That's BS. Sky is not the limit. Your level of belief in yourself is the limit. Your level of belief in yourself is your ceiling. It ain't got nothing to do with the sky. It's how deeply do you believe in yourself. That's the biggest lie that's ever been told. Sky is the limit. No, it's not. The level of belief you have in yourself is your limit. You ain't going no higher than that. I mean, then how many books you read? It's all predicated on what you believe. See, the problem with an attachment, yeah, sky is not the limit, beloved, because if it would, we'd all be successful. If it was, we would all be rich. If it was, we would all have the dream life. If it was, we would all have all of that. You know, and that's the amazing thing about life is the people that are succeeding are the people that believe in themselves. Period. And that they better than you. It's not that they're more smarter or more advanced than you. They just believe, you know, and they have a burning desire. You have to have a burning desire to become something greater than you are in this moment. A burning desire, because you can't stop burning desire. You can't stop burning desire. That person that has a burning desire is going to figure it out somehow, some way. They will not be stopped. Most people don't have a burning desire. Most people are very lukewarm about their goals, very lukewarm about their dreams, lukewarm at best. And I'm being generous when I say that. You know, you work on it when you feel motivated. You work on it when you feel inspired. But the moment you don't feel motivated and the moment you don't feel inspired, you stop working on the goal. You stop working on the dream. You only do it when you're motivated. You only do it when you're inspired. Well, that's the problem, because motivation and inspiration are only feelings. They're going to come and they're going to go. If you only work on your goals and dreams when you feel motivated and you feel inspired, then you're probably not working on them a lot, because you're not going to feel that way all the time. You can't rely on motivation and you can't rely on inspiration. That's why discipline kicks in where motivation drops off. I tell you guys this all the time. The fact that you are not where you want to be in life right now is all the motivation you need. That is your motivation. The fact that you don't have the body that you want right now is all the motivation you need. The fact that you don't have the relationship you want right now is all the motivation you need. The fact that you don't have the career that you want, or whatever it is you're going after right now, the house that you want for your kids, whatever, it's all the motivation that you need. And I'm gonna say something. Let me see what your self-awareness is. Let me see what your self-awareness is. Is money important? Let me just see what your level of awareness is. I just want to see. I'm just checking. Is money important? I just want to know if it's important to you. Is it important? I'm getting mixed reviews here. I'm getting yeses. I'm getting some nos. So the CEO said, hell yeah. Somebody said, yep, very important. D said, hell yeah. Somebody said, depends. Renee said, depends. Rich said, yeah. Just paper. That said, extremely important. See, Kev said yes or no. Doc said it starts in the mind. It's critically important. What are we talking about here? Critically. It's critically. Double down on critically. It's critically important. It's critically important. It's critically important in ways that you can't even imagine. It's critically important. I'm speaking from an awareness perspective now. It's critically important, but not for the reasons that you think it is. See, now we're talking about, one more time, it's not life that hurts you, it's your perspective about life, right? It's our definitions. So you may be defining it in a way that's different than my definition, which is going to give you a different result to me, obviously, right? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's critically important for you to be rich, but not for the reasons you think it is. Not so that you can go get a Rolls Royce and shine on people. Not so that you can go get fur coats. Not so that you can fly around on private jets and all of those other things like that. Because you got to be able to put out the fires, beloved. That's the whole point. You have to be able to put out the fires. How are you going to put out the fires if you don't have money? Your purpose, we talk about, is the heaviest thing you will ever carry. Okay, once you step into your purpose, you're going to see fires everywhere. Fires being a metaphor for, you see this kid over here, he's homeless. Fires being a metaphor for, you see this community, they don't have water. Fires being a metaphor for, you see this single mother over here, she can barely feed her family. She can barely take care of herself. You got people struggling everywhere. These people can't pay their bills. That's what I'm saying. How am I going to put out the fires if I don't have the resources needed to put the fires out? Yeah, I see the problems. The only thing I can do is say, oh, I'm so sorry for your situation. I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I'm so sorry for this. And then I go on about my business because I'm not aligned in that moment. No, it's critically important for you to be rich one more time. Not so that you can go get a Rolls Royce, not so that you can go and buy some $50 million house, and not so that you can go and travel all over the world and shine on people. It's critically important for you to be rich because it puts you in alignment to put the fires out. Your father is the wealthiest thing in the universe. You don't get wealthier than his level of wealth. We can't even calculate his level of wealth. And so when I see something wrong, it gives me the ability in that moment to put the fire out. I might see a little kid that's in some lower income neighborhood. This kid is brilliant, but his parents can't afford to send him to school. Boom, I'm gonna take care of that. I see this single mother. Boom, I'm gonna go buy food for the entire year. I see these babies over here, they don't have shoes. Boom, let's go to Foot Locker. Let's go get you all the shoes that you want. I see this little girl, she doesn't have a bike. Boom, come on, mommy, let's go get you a bike. That's what I'm saying. So that you can put the fires out. So that why? Because to give is to receive. Giving and receiving are opposite ends of the same stick. So when you're giving to these babies and all of the people that you see in the world that really need you, let me tell you the best gift in the world is when you do something for someone, when you know in that moment they didn't have anybody but you. All they had was you. If you didn't do it, it wasn't going to get done. There's no greater gift than that. Than when you genuinely help somebody that really needed you in that moment. There is no feeling in the world. What you're doing for them won't even come close to the feeling you're going to receive when that person tells you, thank you for that cart of food, or for those shoes, or for that water, or for sending my baby to school, or for helping me with my medical bills, or helping me to get on my feet, or whatever the situation may be. That's why we are here. The money don't belong to you. Nothing belongs to you. So God is going to put you in a position to have access to what you need so that you can fulfill your purpose. What's the point in stepping into your purpose if you ain't got no money? You can't put out no fires. That's like a firefighter with no water. Here he is, got all this training, all these skills. He pulled the fire truck up to the house. The house is burning down. He ain't got no water in the truck. Well, who he gonna help? So when you say I don't need money, that's the equivalent of you telling me, Coach, I'm the most skilled firefighter in the world. I just don't ever have water. I ain't got no water to put the house out with. Yeah, I got the skills to put the house out, but I don't have the water to do it. I appreciate that, beloved. Am I making sense? So it has nothing to do with society's definition of money. That's the problem. You looking at it through the wrong filter. It got nothing to do with you. I'm looking for problems now. See, when God puts you, he gonna bless you in such a way. Why? Let me tell you why. The amount of money he gonna put you in contact with is all predicated on what your purpose is in life. It's all tied to your purpose. And so for some of you guys, you got a lot of people that you are here to help and impact. Some people might need some financial help. Some people might need food. Some people might need clothes. Some people might need shelter. You don't even see it. You don't see what I'm saying right now. I know you don't see it. I know you don't see it. Once God aligned, come on, man, please walk with me here. I'm just asking you to walk. We ain't got to run. We ain't got to jog. I'm just asking you to walk with me here. He's transforming you into him here on earth. Listen to what I'm saying. You're going to be moving through the world, or you already locked into your purpose. You already know what you're here for. You got the money. You here now. You are the human manifestation of him. You looking for blessings. You looking for where you can impart your greatness onto the situation. These babies that might need books, boom, come on, I got you. These babies might need backpacks, come on, boom, I got you. But you taking yourself out of the situation. You're not making it about you, you're making it about him. If you don't see that right now, if you don't see that right now, and that don't mean that you can't do for you, and that don't mean that you don't go bless your life, and that don't mean that you don't do all of that. It has nothing to do with that. Of course you're gonna bless your life. Of course you're gonna. Let me tell you another reason. Okay, now that's that part. Let me tell you another reason why. Because take God out of the equation. Let's just take him out. Once we take him out of the equation, based upon what I'm getting ready to say next, don't hang on to the metaphor too tight, because if you do, you're gonna miss the point. Listen, once we take God out of the equation, just for the purpose of making this point, nothing impacts your life more than money. Money impacts your level of education. Money impacts your level of health care. Money impacts whether you're going to go to college or not. Money will impact whether or not your life gets saved. If you got some terminally ill disease and you need some surgery that costs you $300,000, $400,000, and you ain't got the $30 in the bank, money will be the difference between whether you live or die in that moment. Money determines your quality of life. Money determines the type of car you drive. Money determines the type of clothes you wear. Money determines the quality of the food you consume, the quality of the water you consume. Money determines whether or not you will ever be able to travel around this beautiful world and see it versus just seeing your little city and some other little states that might be connected to your city. Money determines where your kids go to school. Money determines what they experience as well. Money determines and hits you in ways that you can't even understand. I'm going to tell you the worst thing. I'm going to tell you the best thing. For some of you guys, you are in a relationship right now that you don't want to be in because of money or the lack thereof. You would have been walked out of that situation if you had the financial means and resources to go and take care of yourself. The reason why you settling, the reason why you stand, because you don't have the money. So money will even keep you in a relationship that you don't want to be in. So you want to tell me again that it's not important? I didn't say nothing about worshiping money. I didn't say nothing about shining on people. I didn't say anything about thinking you better than people. It's about understanding once I step into my purpose, beloved, what's the point of stepping into my purpose if I don't have the financial means and resources to put out the fire that I'm seeing? And God understands that. Again, I'm the firefighter. I got all these skills, all this talent, all this ability, but my fire truck has no water in it. The water being a metaphor for the money. So I'm just pulling up to people's houses. I can't help anybody. I don't think I can do. I'm going to pray for you. That prayer ain't going to change nothing. People have been telling you that your whole life. Oh, I'm going to pray for you. The prayer didn't do nothing. You are the prayer in that moment. That's the beautiful thing. The prayer is being answered through you. He's going to utilize you to answer that particular prayer. That's when you become powerful. It's all about helping other people. They ain't got nothing to do with, again, going to the club and popping bottles. Ain't got nothing to do with going and making it rain on a bunch of people. That's not what I'm talking about. If you think that's what I'm talking about, then you're not listening right now. Yeah, but you got all these babies walking around here hungry. You got all these people scared and confused. You got people that don't have water. See, you take for granted the fact that you can go to your sink right now and turn it on and water comes out. Yeah, you might not be in a mansion. You might just be in your apartment or whatever. But there's people that don't have that luxury. You take for granted the fact that you can go in the bathroom and flush your toilet and everything is working like it needs to. There's people that don't have that. You take for granted the fact that you can go take a hot shower right now. There's people that don't have hot water. See, you take for granted the fact that you got a car. Yeah, it might not be a Rolls Royce, but then you got one. So people don't have that. There's people sitting at the bus stop right now in the cold, in the rain. People sleeping in the park right now. People hungry right now. People don't know what they're going to eat tonight. This is what I'm saying to you, beloved. I ain't talking about eating at Ruth's Chris and all this other stuff like that and taking your friends on fancy trips. That's not what I'm talking about. You can't change the world if you don't have the means to do so. How you gonna do it? So why would God transform you into something so powerful and then remove the ability? This is why I said the most important structure you will ever build is yourself. Once you build yourself, you don't understand. If you don't want to build anything else, you don't have to build anything else because you are the value. You are the prayer. You are the blessing answer. You are the solution in that moment. You are everything that you need to be. That part right there. I'm just saying that part right there, Spartan Dre, that part right there, beloved. You know, you got to build it. We got to build the structure. You know what I'm saying? We want. See, the reason why most people don't get their prayers answered is because you want the prayer answered so that you can go shine on people. You want the prayer answered because of who you try to be on social media. You want the prayer answered because you want to be seen as being a success in the mind of other people. You want it for all the wrong reasons. You don't want it because you're trying to change the world, or you're trying to change your neighborhood, or you're trying to help this kid get to college. You don't want it for that reason. You want it so you can get the car, and you can go get the girl, and you go get the this, and you go get the guy, and you go get all these things that really don't matter anyways. So when you not get your prayer answered, God is looking at you like, I'm not going to put you in a position to go make somebody else feel bad. Which is exactly what we're trying to do. You want to be in a position so that we can shine on people and be placed on some pedestal in the mind of some other person. No, he's not gonna bless your life that way. It ain't got nothing to do with your purpose. Why would he do that? He ain't got nothing to do with your purpose. Yeah, I want the Ferrari. God, would you please bless me with a Ferrari? What you really want a Ferrari for? What's the why behind the Ferrari? That's what he's paying attention to. What's the why behind the Ferrari? What's the why behind the $1 million house? What's the why behind the I need $1 million? What's the why behind it? That's what he's paying attention to. So if your why don't align with why he created you, why would he do that? Because that's going to only push you further away from what he's trying to transform you into. Think about what I'm saying. That should be common sense for you. That should be common sense to you right there. I'm telling you, every single thing, and it's just going to come. When you're in alignment, everything you want is going to come. The how is none of your business. That's where we get hurt. That's where we hurt ourselves because you too focus on the how. How is it going to happen? How am I going to get the money? That's none of your business. The how is none of your business. The why is your business. Not the how. Get out of the how lane and get into the why lane. Why do you need it? Why do you want it? And are you willing to transform yourself into the person that's capable of doing that particular thing? That's your business. The how is none of your business. I didn't know how I was going to write the book. That was not important. I knew why I wanted to write my book. That's how this book got here. I didn't know anything about writing a book. God said, get out of my lane. Get out of my lane. Every single person that you need to help you with that book, I'm gonna bring. Get out of my lane. You just need to know the why. Why did I do it? Because I wanted to help self-awareness get to the world. My why was bigger than me. Then it went to the community. Oh God, I want to create the Mindset Master community. Why do you want to do it? Because I want to have a community where it's safe, where people can be loved, where they can grow, where they can change, they can transform. How am I going to get out of my lane one more time? And I'm telling you now, I just started meeting people. People just started coming. They wanted to help. All of these different things. Listen to what I'm a human manifestation of what I'm telling you right now. I ain't never wrote a book in my life. I ain't never took a course on writing a book. I don't know people that wrote books. And this book is a masterpiece. Can't tell you how I did it. And I can't, and I couldn't replicate it if I wanted to right now. My job was to know why I wanted to do it. And then have faith that it was going to come. I didn't sleep with one eye open. I wasn't knocking on God's door every 5 minutes. Are you sure you're going to still come through for me? None of that. Once you make your mind up that this is what I'm getting ready to do, he is going to bring every single person in your life that's going to help you accomplish that mission. I'm telling you. But the moment you start doubting, the moment you start asking other people their opinion, the moment you start all of that, what you signaling to him is that I don't really trust you like that. That's what you signaling. The moment doubt creeps into your mind, you signaling into him, I don't really trust you like that. I don't believe you're gonna come through for me. The moment worry keeps in your worry is an indicator that you're not trusting him. Doubt is an indicator that you're not trusting him. A lack of faith is an indicator that you're not trusting him. So in that moment, why would he come through for you? You ain't got no trust. You ain't got no belief. He gonna cripple you if he bless your life and you don't believe in it. I ain't even got to believe in God. He still blessed me. No, man, you need to turn that around. I'm telling you. You got to trust, man, more than anything else. More than anything else. More than anything else. Do me a favor real quick, you guys, and share the live feed stories if you haven't already done so. You ain't got no reason not to. We can start with that, and we can go any direction you want to. You don't have a reason not to. I tell people all the time, today's nobody can become tomorrow's somebody. Any person with a pair of blue jeans can start a corporation, can set up an LLC that will change this entire world. Any person with a pair of blue jeans. I know too many people that have done it. You got a pair of blue jeans in your closet right now. You have the power to create something that can change this entire world. The problem is that how much belief do you have in yourself? How much do you show up for yourself? How disciplined are you ready to be? See, we want the result, but we don't want the discipline that comes with the result. That's why we never get the result. We start reading all these books on manifestation. We want things to just fall out of the sky. Manifestation doesn't work that way. Manifestation comes from alignment, beloved. It doesn't come from your vision board. It doesn't come from your vision board. Once I understood that, it's everything is alignment. And I'm gonna tell you something else. You have to understand the difference between a goal and a system. We all have goals. Okay, that's wonderful. The goal only points your mind in the direction that you want to go. What's important is your system. Your system is all of the steps that you're going to need to take that's going to get you to the goal. If you don't have a system, then you're not going to make it to the goal. Most people are only focused on the goal. You don't understand that the system is infinitely more important than the goal ever will be. Again, the goal only points your mind in the direction that you want to go. Once you know where you want to go, the goal is no longer important. I don't need to focus on the goal anymore. I need to now shift my energy to my system, because your system is what's going to build out the goal. I'll give you a great example of what I'm saying. Let's just say that you're a high school basketball coach, and your goal is to win the state championship. Wonderful. We know what the goal is. We don't need to talk about it anymore. Your system is how you conduct practices. Your system is how you manage your players. Your system is how you manage your staff. Your system is all of the things that you put in place once you get to the facility. That's your system. It's your system that won you the state championship, not the goal. The goal only told us where we wanted to go, but it was the system, how I train my players, how I run my practices, how I manage the staff, how often we show up, how much work we put in. It's your system. Most people have goals, but you don't have a system. Yeah, you got the goal, but you don't have no system. Your system is critically important, because without the system, you ain't going nowhere. We think that all we need is the goal. Like, okay, I got the goal. Okay, wonderful. The goal is only telling me where you want to go. My question is, what's the system that's going to get us there? See, there's a system when it comes to how I run the community. There's a system. I'm so consistent. You should see that if you don't see anything else. If you've been on this live stream with me at least 4 to 5 times, you should see that if nothing else. There is a system in place that produces a particular result. Your system is what produces the result, not the goal. And the goal is not what's important. The system is what's important. All right, let me get into this live. Let me get back on track. Let me get back on track. That part right there, Raven. That part right there, beloved. That part right there. I'm telling you guys, but that consistency, that dedication, that persistence, that relentlessness is because there's a particular place that I want to go. Again, so I know where I want to go. Right? But it's that system, right? And so me doing what I do every day consistently, this is just a stepping stone. This is just a part of it. And so that's what I'm saying. It's you gotta get that, man, you gotta get that discipline locked down. I'm telling you right now, discipline is literally the bridge that separates the version of yourself that you are now and the version of you that you ultimately want to become. It's discipline that separates you from the two. What's separating you from the most powerful version of yourself is discipline, nothing else. Nothing else. All right, boom. So let's get back on track. Let me get back on track. Because this is the great segue. Where I'm going to go next is the great segue to this. So we talked about awareness. Not awareness, excuse me. We talked about attachment. When you hear me say self-observation, because this is a great segue into where we're going. When you hear me say self-observation, what pops into your mind? Self-observation, when you hear that, what jumps out at you? Let me see what your awareness is. What jumps out at you when you hear me say self-observation? Roger said checklist. Analyzing. And I want you to look at where everyone is. Look at how different we all are. Red said power principle 13. She ain't lying. Paying attention to the self, love it. Reflection and introspection, love it. Perception, love it. I'm gonna tell you, let me say this to you. I created the power principles in the book, this book right here. I created the power principles in the book. The book is a puzzle. A lot of people don't know that. The book is a puzzle. Hold on. You see that 3? What does that 3 mean? A lot of people in this live right now, you have the book, but what is this 3 symbolize? This 3 symbolizes something. There's a reason why it's there. Let me see who knows why the 3 is there. There's so many people on here that have the book. Let me see who knows what the 3 represents. Spark Dre, I love that. Body, soul, mind. Spark Dre says synergy. Me, myself, and I. Alignment. Rosie, I love that. Alignment. My students is quiet right now. There's a lot of my students. Nephew said to come to the book. A lot of my students is quiet right now. It's a couple hundred of y'all on here. A lot of my students is quiet right now. I see it's some quiet going on. I'm a little bit nervous. There's some quiet going on right now. All right, let me tell you.
y'all don't know. But Spartan Dre was he was right there. The three, right? That three is symbolic of synergistic relationships. Period. Don't ever forget that. Write that inside of the book, if anything. But the three is symbolic of synergistic relationships, right? The 1 + 1 equaling 3. But when I'm talking about synergistic relationships, I'm talking about the relationship between you and God. I'm not talking about the relationship between you and other people, because that's secondary, right? The first synergistic relationship is the relationship with you and God, right? There's God, there's you, and the combination of you two is what creates every third thing. That's why I led with that, because that's something that you don't ever want to ever want to forget. Everything in your life right now is only a third thing, period. Period. The relationship is a third thing. Your kids are a third thing. The job is a third thing. The money is a third thing. Your clothes are a third thing. The house is the third thing. Everything is a third thing. Without that original relationship, again, you and God, and the combination of the two is what creates every third thing in your life, right? And so that's why that's the most important thing in the world. But we get into these relationships and we lose ourselves, and we get into these friendships and we lose ourselves, and we get on social media and we lose ourselves, and we start forgetting about that synergistic relationship. You fall out of alignment when you forget about the synergistic relationship. The moment you fall out, let me say it this way. That depression, you fell out of alignment with the synergistic relationship. The anxiety, you fell out of alignment with the synergistic relationship. Focusing on the past, you fell out of alignment with the synergistic relationship. Focusing on what might happen tomorrow, you fell out of alignment with that original synergistic relationship. You're not trusting. You got a role, he has a role. Let me say that one more time. You have a role, he has a role. You focus on your role, he gonna focus on his role. The combination of the two is gonna create power in your life. The moment that you stop focusing on your role and you call up on his role, that means the future. You call up on his role, that means what happened in your yesterday. You call up on what you don't have. You call up on what you don't miss. You call up on who walked out. You call up on who didn't stay. You are out of alignment in that moment. You're out of alignment. You're all the way out of alignment. You're out of alignment. You don't do that when you're on the freeway. You don't pull your car over and ask other people, can I ride with you? You don't do that when you're on the freeway. You ain't supposed to do that in your life. You stay in your car, you stay in your lane. You focus on where you are going. Whoever else is moving around you and what they're doing is none of your business. It got nothing to do with you. Yeah, there's other people going around you, and there's other cars around you, and there's other people around you, and yeah, everybody's moving and doing whatever it is they're doing, but you focus on where you're going. Period. So the moment you step outside of your lane, you're out of alignment in that moment, beloved. Now you need somebody to come rescue you. So that's why that's so important in the book. I live by that. Yeah, I'm gonna add different people to my life, and I'm gonna lose some people, and I'm gonna add some more people, and I'm gonna lose some people, and all of that's wonderful. No person that I add, no thing that I add, no circumstance, no problem, no situation will ever be more important or will ever be bigger than that original relationship. The reason why you suffering because you let your problems be bigger than that relationship. The reason why you experience an anxiety is because you let your problems be bigger than that relationship. The reason why you spiraled into unhappiness is because when that relationship fell apart, you let that be bigger than that synergistic relationship. That relationship is responsible for why you had a relationship that fell apart to begin with. That relationship that you have, that synergistic relationship, is the reason why you have a future. It's the reason why you have a past. Damn, what happened in it? I'm rocking with the one that helped me to experience it. I'm rocking with the one that helped me to create it. I'm rocking with the one that's building my tomorrow. Why would I lose all this faith in him? Why would I lose all of this belief in him? Without him, I don't have a tomorrow. Without him, I don't have yesterdays to be depressed about. Without him, I don't have some relationship to be all stressed out about that it didn't fall apart. Come on, what are we talking about here?
I got everything when I got him. I have nothing without him. And that's why you spiral into depression, because you moving through life without him. That's why you spiral into, that's why you got the anxiety, because you're trying to predict the future without him. You're focusing on the future without him. This is why you're trying to do it on your own. That's what the anxiety is saying. You trying to move on your own. That's what the depression is saying. You've forgotten that who you rocking with for real. All those things are indicators, beloved. All those things are indicators. You had a relationship that fell apart because of him. Don't matter why it fell apart. And you didn't have plenty of relationships in the past. And guess what? You're going to have a whole bunch more. But you get so caught up in the moment, like you ain't going to never have another powerful relationship. Like you ain't going to never have a beautiful relationship. Doesn't matter why it fell apart. Whatever the reason why that relationship ended, because whatever you needed to learn in that relationship was over with, beloved. That's why relationships end. Relationships end when whatever that reason is that God put that person in your life no longer serves its purpose. When that purpose is over, the relationship is over. You got to start looking at your life that way. When somebody comes into your life, you got to instantly lock in on, what am I supposed to learn from this person? Am I supposed to add some value to this person, or is this person supposed to add value to me? Because every single person that's coming into your life is coming to teach you something, or you coming to teach that person something, but somebody's getting ready to learn something. And once that lesson has been learned, that person will move on out of your life. The person is not, some people don't, everybody that comes in your life is not supposed to be loyal to you, beloved. Some people are coming into your life to teach you where your boundaries don't exist. Some people are coming into your life to teach you where love doesn't exist. Some people are coming into your life to teach you where your self-care, your self-worth, and all of those things don't exist. They ain't had nothing to do with loyalty. Some people are coming to show you what you're not loving yourself, because they're wearing the face of those moments when you transform into some lesser version of yourself when nobody else is around. You think that everybody coming in your life is supposed to be loyal to you, and everybody's supposed to be coming in your life supposed to be this and that. No, people are coming in your life to teach you things that you are blind to in that moment. Everyone is your mirror, they're your window, or they're your door. It's one of the three. Mirrors, windows, doors. Right? Mirrors, windows, doors. That's how I see people. Yeah, Dr. Felicia, you're going. I'm telling you, the book is, you're gonna love it. Like I said, you'll love it. You'll love it. You'll love it. All right, let me get back into this self-observation piece. This piece is super important. Super important. Do me a favor, you guys, and share the live feed stories if you haven't already done so. You can get it on Amazon. Here, let me show you. Take a screenshot of it. You can get it on Amazon. The Secret of Awareness. How Powerful Are You Ready to Be by Jordan Williams. All of what I'm reading right now is really from the book. Again, The Secret of Awareness, How Powerful Are You Ready to Be by Jordan Williams. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. So the mirrors are all of the people that'll come into your life to reflect where fear reigns over love in you. So any person that's your mirror, that's why they're in your life. They're in your life to show you where fear reigns over love in you. Okay, so those are the mirrors. The windows symbolize people that come into your life that are going to present some opportunity at that moment that you are blind to. That may be a business opportunity, that may be some friendship, that may be some partnership, but it's something that you are blind to, but it's going to be extremely beneficial to you. The doors are the people that just pour value into you, right? They always see you through your potential, not through your past. They are people that are going to be lifers, right? They're your tribe. They are people that always make more deposits in you than withdrawals, and they genuinely don't want anything from you.
And that's not because they're wealthy or whatever the case may be. Sometimes they may be financially um, set, and sometimes they may not be. But the point not to be missed is that, they just love to see you being the best version of yourself. Some of you guys have doors in your life right now. That may be a mom, that may be a grandmother, that may be an uncle, that may be a friend. But that person would never speak negatively behind your back. They always want the best for you. And they don't want anything from you. Like, they genuinely don't want anything from you. Those are your doors. And it's rare, but it can happen where a person can enter your life, come in as a mirror, and end up being a window and end up being a door, because they bring such incredible value to your life, right? Where they came in as a mirror, because the mirrors are also teachers, right? They're teaching you something about yourself that you are blind to, because they're showing you your blind self. And so it's important to understand that those mirrors, again, you can have a person in your life that ends up being a mirror, a window, and a door all at the same time. It's rare, but it can happen. It's rare, but it can happen, for sure. It's happened to me, and that's how I know. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, once you start to understand that, it's but yeah. So all right, let me get to the self-observation piece real quick before I let you guys get out of here, because this piece is important. So self-observation, and again, the book talks about this. You said, how much is the book? I don't even know, beloved. I don't even know, to be honest with you. I think it's $39 on Amazon or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere in that. It's between $29 and $39. I think it's $39 on Amazon for a physical copy. Yeah. Okay. Appreciate that. Okay. Appreciate that. What's mind blowing to me is we'll spend 500,000 on a book, or we'll spend 500,000 on a house, but we'll question spending $30 on a book. We'll spend $100,000 on this Mercedes Benz, but we won't spend $50 to take a master class. We'll spend $1,700 to get this Louis Vuitton purse, backpack, whatever the case may be. But then we'll question the price of the seminar. And it's mind-blowing to me. You're going to lose $15,000 on that Mercedes Benz the day you drive it off the lot. The day you drive that car off the lot, it dropped in value in that moment. That house and all of the maintenance, all of the upkeep that's going to come with that. But we don't look at that. And that's what's mind-blowing to me. See, you have to understand the difference between price and cost. Price is what you pay one time. Cost is what it's going to cost you throughout the duration of the time that you have access to this particular thing. And what people don't understand is it costs you, beloved, so much money to become the version of yourself that you are right now. Look at how much it has cost you, not just in money, but in pain, in suffering, in trauma, and all of the things, the heartbreak, the betrayal, people lying to you, people verbally abusing you. Maybe somebody may have put their hands on you. Maybe somebody may have touched you inappropriately.
It has cost you so much to be the version of yourself that you are right now. And so people will enter your life and they will want to pay the price, but they won't want to pay the cost. See, that's why people are in divorce court right now. Not because somebody didn't want to pay the price. The price might have been just them taking you to dinner. The price might have been that fancy trip. The price might have been that weekend getaway. But the cost is everything that comes with you. So we stop bringing the passion. We stop bringing the high level communication. We stop bringing the respect. We stop bringing the love. All of those things are a metaphor for cost because you need those things throughout the duration of the relationship you have with this person. And at some point in time, that person stops wanting to pay the cost. Yeah, they paid the price. Because had they not paid the price, they would have never been in the relationship with you to begin with. So they paid the price. But what people fail to realize is that there's also a cost that comes with you as well. Not just a price. There's a cost. You paid the price to have your baby. That's beautiful. But your baby comes with a price and a cost. That's why there's so many single mothers out there. The man paid the price. That's how y'all had the baby. But he didn't want to pay the cost. Because the cost means being a father. The cost means showing up consistently. The cost means teaching him how to be a man. The cost means showing up and doing all the things you need to do. That's the cost. So yeah, he paid the price. But he didn't want to pay the cost. The same thing applies for that single father that may have dealt with that. So it's a two-way street. I'm not outing all the men. Has nothing to do with that. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is this. You got to start looking at yourself through that filter. Because some people are going to want to enter your life and only pay the price. They will not want to pay the cost. And the moment that they stop wanting to pay the cost, that relationship falls apart. When you go to Mercedes-Benz, or let's just say not even Mercedes-Benz, let's say you go to some used car lot, right? And you go to buy an old Mercedes-Benz, 2005. It's still nice, got leather interior, right? Air conditioning, tinted windows. It's still in good condition. It's an older car, still in good condition, but there's no more warranty on it. So you ask the man, is this a good car? He says, oh yeah, the car works fine. It's a great car, low mileage, all of those things. You say, wonderful. You paid the price one time. But what you didn't know is that it had some transmission issues. What you didn't know is that it had some radiator issues. And these aren't things that happened instantly. These are things that started to fall apart over time. So before you know it, damn, I got to put a new transmission in it. I got to put a new engine in it. I got to put a new axle in it. I got to put all these new things. I done damn near paid the car two times because you were only thinking about the price. You weren't factoring in the cost. The cost is all of the maintenance that it's going to take to keep that car on the road. And the same thing applies to your relationship. There's a lot of maintenance that has to be applied to keep that relationship on the road. And people aren't willing to do that because most people don't know how to be that dedicated. Most people aren't committed at that level. They don't know what it takes to bring that level of greatness, to bring that level of excellence day in and day out. This is why your partner is always up and down. Because it's hard for them to be consistent like that. It's hard for you to bring excellence every day. It's hard for you to bring greatness every day. It's hard for you to bring the best version of yourself. Why? Because you're still dealing with your pain. You still dealing with your childhood trauma. You still dealing with who didn't love you. You still dealing with the heartbreak from that last relationship. You still dealing with all of you not growing and you not having a growth mindset, your procrastination and all these other, you still battling things internally. See, the most important fight that you will ever fight is the one against your mind. Because if you don't win here, you will never win in the world outside of you. That is your number one component, is that version of yourself that you see in the mirror staring back at you every single day. Because if you don't win the battle against that version of you, you'll never win the war going on outside of you. There is a vast difference between price and cost. My mother paid the cost. She didn't walk out on me. She didn't quit when my dad quit. She showed up every single day. She wore the hat of mom sometimes. She wore the hat of dad sometimes. She played every role she could, kept food on the table. She paid the cost and the price at the same time. You want people in your life, and you got to make sure a person understands that. Stop focusing on what you're going to get in the moment, because you got to understand there's a cost that comes with you. You've been paying the cost your entire life. What you mean you're going to let somebody disrespect you? You've been paying the cost your entire life to be who you are. What you mean you showing up small? You've been paying the cost this entire time to be the version of yourself right now. What you mean you walking on eggshells? You didn't pay the cost. This person is only trying to pay the price. And you better step your game up. You better remind people about who you are and whose you are, most importantly. I'm going to set my mic down on that. Wish I would. All this time I've been sitting here paying the cost to be the person I am. You just showed up last week. You just showed up last year. You just showed up a few months ago. All of a sudden you need me to transform myself to be something that you need me to be so that you can be happy. Hell no. Much as it took for me to be me, much as it's taken for you to be you. I wish you would. I bet not be there when you do it. I bet not be there when you walk on eggshells. I bet not be there when you turn down the volume of your voice, because I'm going to remind you who you are. Give a damn about that person needing you to be a certain type of person so that they can be happy. Nah, we ain't moving like that. Nope, we ain't moving like that. It didn't cost you too much to be who you are in this moment. This person is brand new. I don't give a damn who it is. They brand new. They ain't paid the cost like you. I know that if I don't know nothing else. They have not paid the cost like you. All that trauma you didn't have to deal with. All the failed relationships you didn't have to deal with. Your mom may have not been there. Your dad may have not been there. This person may have hurt you. This person may have abused you. All the things you didn't went through to be who you are right now. I mean, you need to show up for you. You're the only billboard we got for you. You're the only spokesperson we got for you. The moment you turn down the volume, we in trouble. You're the only billboard we got. You are the only spokesperson we got. The moment you turn down the volume on your voice, beloved, we in trouble, beloved. We ain't got nothing. I appreciate that, beloved. We ain't got nothing. Your voice is the represent. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Your voice is what speaks for your heart. Your voice is what speaks for your spirit. Your voice is what speaks for your soul. Your voice is what delivers God's message when he's speaking through you. It's your voice. We can't never lose that. We lose that, we done lost everything. We ain't got nothing. So if you're in a relationship, you got to turn your volume down on your voice. You afraid to say what you need to say, and you walking on eggshells, you showing up as a listener. Those are all indicators that you're in the wrong situation. That's all I hear, indicators. All right. I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that. Again, happy Friday. Welcome all first time and last time listeners. Welcome all first time, last time listeners. My name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness and self-mastery. My goal in life, and this is kind of my life mantra, if you will, mindset, if you will, philosophy, if you will, is probably a better word choice. It's just to always leave you better than I found you, right? And I think that that's a mindset that I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that. That's a mindset that, you know, everyone should have, right? Just to leave people better than you found them. And if you can't leave them better than you found them, then I didn't damage the situation, right? I didn't leave you worse. Right? If I couldn't make you better, if I couldn't help you be better, if I couldn't add any value to the situation, I definitely didn't take value away from it, you know. And that mindset alone is what this world needs now more than ever. And so if I can't add value to your life, I shouldn't be a part of it. If you got to show up in strength when you're around me, I don't deserve to have access to you. Again, because I understand, right? I understand what it costs to be you. And I may not understand to the level and to the detail that you understand. But my point is that I know you've been through some things, right? I know you've had to climb some mountains and you've had to pull yourself out of some bunkers and you had to do this and you've had to do that. I get that part, man. So, there's just no way that you can show up small to anything for any reason. And not only that, every single person that that you're looking at out of the world has had a similar story to yours. This is why I tell people, you don't place people on pedestals, because every person you see is fighting some internal war, some internal battle that you don't know anything about. I don't care where you can go to Madison Square Garden right now, and it can be packed with people. Every person you see is fighting some internal battle, some internal war that you don't know anything about. Anything about. And what's crazy is that when we look out at the world, we see the world through our behind the scenes. But when we look at other people, we see their highlight reel. And then we'll compare our behind the scenes to their highlight reel, which is why you'll always think that people are doing better than you, that they have more than you, that they have a better life than you, that they fill in the blank, not because they do, but because you only have access to your behind the scenes and you only can see their highlight reel. You don't have access to their behind the scenes. So you'll be like, oh, you've been married for 20 years? Oh my God, what's the secret? You've been married for 50 years? Oh my God, what's the secret? The longevity has absolutely nothing to do with happiness. You don't know what their behind the scenes is looking like. Them two people could be sleeping in completely different rooms. There could be no communication. There could be no love. They're just codependent. They're just leaning on each other, right? But there's no love in the relationship. There's no happiness in the relationship. There's no any of that. So the length of the relationship or the length of the marriage or the amount of time that they've been invested has absolutely nothing to do with happiness. The person may have been married for 20 years, but damn, I've been miserable for 19 of them. That first year was beautiful, but after that, we started to fall apart. We've been married for 50 years, but damn, I was only happy for the first 5. After that, we just had kids and we just started functioning, and it was what it was. So you got to stop thinking that when you see somebody, you hear these stories, oh, they've been married for 10 years, 50 years, 30 years. What's your secret? They looking at you like, what's yours? Because chances are that person that's looking at you as being single, saying, damn, I wish I could be you. If you only knew, you rushing to get married. If you only knew. Shit, you fighting to get into the relationship, they fighting to get out of it. All right, so having said all of that, again, type me in the comments real quick. Oh yeah, glorified roommates. Y'all been roommates for 30 years. You just familiar with each other. That's the problem. Familiarity will make you stay in a situation. Not because you're happy, not because you're this, because it's predictable and it's familiar to you. So you stay. That's why most people are in a relationship right now, because it's predictable, because that person is safe. Safety ain't got nothing to do with happiness. It's safe. I can predict. I know what my partner's going to do. I know how they get up. I know what they do. I know what type of life. I don't want to walk away from my quality of life, coach. No, I'm not happy. No, I don't feel fulfilled, but I have a certain quality of life and I'm comfortable with that. So you settle. The life you receive is the one you settle for. And that's just the truth. It just is what it is. The person is safe. It got nothing to do with being everything you want, need, and deserve. The person is safe. They're predictable. Real quick, do me a favor and period. Ain't no happiness. It ain't all that happiness, joy, passion, all that's gone. Do me a favor and type me in the comments if this is your very first time on the live stream. Let me see how many first timers. This is your first time on the live. Type me in the comments if this is your first time. Let me see what we got. Yeah, the life you receive is the one you settle for. It's really crazy, but it's the truth. Let me see. First timers. Awesome. All right, boom, real quick. Again, my name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-awareness, self-mastery, relationship mastery, consciousness, emotional intelligence, just helping my students and my clients all over the world to become the most powerful versions of themselves.
I've coached some of the top celebrities, top athletes, doctors, lawyers, executives, CEOs, everyday moms and pops, you name them, I coached them. I'm also the best-selling author of this book, The Secret of Awareness. How powerful are you ready to be? Um, it's 2 decades of coaching has taught me a lot, about people. The beautiful thing about self-awareness, I think the greatest gift that it's ever going to give you is it's going to give you the ability to see through yourself. And it's going to hit you hard at first, right? It's going to hit you hard at first. I ask people this question all the time: how much truth can you handle about yourself without running away? That's an important question. How much truth can you handle about yourself without running away? Because that's one of the first things that, awareness is going to give you, or that's one of the first things it's going to demand. It's not going to give you anything. It's what it's going to demand is that you learn how to see through yourself, right? And when you learn how to see through yourself, you'll simultaneously develop the ability to see through other people. And I don't mean see through them literally, but you'll understand that a lot of what you have had to overcome and what you are dealing with internally and mentally and spiritually and emotionally, you're going to understand that every person you come in contact with has a similar story, right? Maybe different characters, maybe different city, right? Maybe a different time period, but your story is very similar. I can promise you. There's only so many stories. Your story is very similar to a lot of people's stories that are on this live stream right now, but a lot of people's stories that are happening all over the world. And I know this because I hear the stories all the time. I hear the stories all the time, as a coach. And so it's mind blowing, when you understand it from that level. But the point not to be missed is this: your story is unique to you, like your fingerprints. That's why God created you, because your story is medicine once you get on the other side of it. Right now, you're standing in the story, which means you're still suffering from it. What awareness is going to do is position you to stand on it, where you're no longer suffering, where you understand why everything that has ever happened to you leading up to this moment has happened to you. So you stand on the story, you don't stand in it. You're going to also understand this: there's a vast difference between your life and your life situation. Your life is this moment. That's it. Your life situation is everything that has ever happened to you leading up to this moment. Newsflash: your life situation has absolutely nothing to do with this moment. What's the problem? Where's your suffering coming from? Because you are mentally connecting your life situation to this moment. That's where all of your suffering is coming from. All of it. I didn't say some of it. One more time. There is a vast difference between your life and your life situation. Your life is this moment. It is only this moment. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. I don't care what you tell me about what may have happened yesterday or 5 minutes ago or 5 seconds ago. That moment is over. When it leaves, when you no longer have access to the moment, you let that go mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Why? Because I can't edit the situation. I can't change the situation. I can't alter the situation. I can only suffer because of it. And that's where your depression is coming from, because you won't let go of the moment. You won't let go of the experience. You won't let go of what happened. And as a result, you continue to project that onto your current reality, punishing the current version of you. The current version of you is responsible for extracting all of the value from this moment. But it can't do that because it's so busy processing the information from a previous moment that you won't let go of.
So how can you become the best version of yourself if you're always focused on what's behind you? You don't drive your car that way, but we live our lives that way. Most people spend more time in reverse than they do focusing on what's coming next. The step in front of you is infinitely more important than the step behind you. It doesn't matter what happened on the last step. We don't have access to that step anymore. What matters is the step you're standing on and the one you're getting ready to take next. The quality of your life will be predicated on the quality of your next decision. You want to know what your life is going to look like? Just pay attention to your next decision. And we say that, move forward. But the reason why people can't move forward, unfortunately, is because you don't have the tools to do it. That's like me telling you, oh, go build a skyscraper. But you don't know how to do it. Go build a rocket. You don't know how to do it. Do you have the mind that can do it? Absolutely. But you don't have this, you don't have the tools to do it. You don't have the mental tools to know how to do it. So people are telling you, oh, let it go. That sounds good. But if I don't have the tools to know how to do that, and that's why self-awareness is so important, because it's going to give you the tools to know how to do all of that. It's going to give you the tools. So having said all of that, you're the problem and the solution, beloved. That's what you got to understand. You're the masterpiece. You're the work in progress. You're the question. You're the answer. Seeker, savior. It's all you. It's all you. There's no one else coming. I think when you really get into that mindset and you really understand that there's no one else coming, on who we waiting on, but there's no one else coming. God handed you the remote. The remote is in your hand. We suffer because we don't like what's on the TV. The TV being a metaphor for your life. You don't like what's on the TV, but you're not changing the channel either. So we complain about what's on the TV, but he's looking at you like, beloved, you're the one holding the remote. Nobody else is holding the remote. Your significant other doesn't hold the remote to your life. Your kids don't hold the remote to your life. Your friends don't hold the remote to your life. You're the only one holding the remote. So if you don't change the channel, then complaining about it is only going to make you suffer all the more. Are you ready to change the channel? But if I don't change the information in my mind, I'll never be able to change the channel. You don't change your life. You change the mindset that's building the life that you don't want. That's what you change. You're not trying to change your life because there's nothing wrong with your life. What's wrong is the mindset that built the life that you're complaining about. It's the same thing with people. We don't lose people. We lose the version of ourselves that attracted that person into our life to begin with. That's what we lose. You never lost a person in your life. You lost the version of yourself that attracted that person to you. You stopped being that version of yourself, and then that relationship fell apart. It's like shedding skin. But you ain't never lost anybody. You just outgrew that version of yourself that attracted that person to you. You outgrew it. They may not have outgrown it, but you did. So it fell apart. That's why every person is in a divorce court, because who you entered the relationship with, they stopped being that person. The relationship fell apart in that moment. Got nothing to do with compatibility. You're going to suffer a lot in life if you don't understand how you work. That's why I'm here. I just want to give you mastery over self. We start with information. Information becomes wisdom. Wisdom becomes emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence becomes self-mastery. Self-mastery becomes self-awareness. Once you get to the self-awareness stage of it, you are a master. You are a master. You are an asset to every single person that you come in contact with. I said an asset. You are something so powerful that people won't be able to walk away from you. Just like a diamond. People don't walk away from diamonds. That's what you're going to become. You're going to become, you won't have to ask people to be in your life. You won't have to ask people for attention. You won't have to ask them, do they still love you? You won't have to ask them, do you still want this? There will be no more questions because you become the answer. I don't have questions anymore. I don't. I'm not trying to figure anything out because I know exactly where I'm going. And so every single person that I come in contact with is either in alignment with where I'm going or they're not. It's simple. Life is going to get so easy. When you get to this level, it's going to be so easy. It's going to be crazy. I can call it easy because I put in the work. What I call easy, you may call difficult because you may be on a different stage of the mountain. But when you get higher up the mountain, life slows down. It's so slow up here. It's so slow. It's like watching a movie. Picture in your mind watching a movie in slow motion where everybody's just moving slow. Once you start getting to this level of awareness, everything is slow. You see this person. Who are you? What do you attract? What value do you bring to my table? Period. Not impressed with your degrees. I'm not impressed with where you went to school. I'm not impressed with who your family is. I'm not impressed with your money. I'm on a mission right now. Can you help me achieve the mission? It's a simple yes or no. Can I help you achieve whatever your mission is? It's a simple yes or no. No, have a nice life. I'm out because I don't have time. I ain't got time. The mission is too important. When you get in alignment with your mission, I'm telling you right now, the energy that you're going to have, the attitude that you're going to have, the mentality that you're going to have, and it's not that you think that you're better than anybody, you just know where you're going. Picture you being in the airport. You're way on the other side of the airport, and you're late. And your plane is leaving in 5 minutes. They get ready to close the gate, but you're 10 minutes away. So you're moving through that airport. Yeah, you see all of the people, but you're not caught up on the people. They're just obstacles in your way. Because you're trying to get to that gate, because if you don't catch this flight, it's it. So as you're moving through the airport, you're just moving around people. You ain't gonna be sitting there and somebody, hey, can I talk to you? And you waste your time, and this person over here want to know your name. And this, but I promise you ain't gonna waste no time. You're gonna tell them people, I'm sorry, sir, I gotta go. I'm sorry, ma'am, I gotta go. Excuse me, I don't have time. You ain't trying to hear it. Not because you think you're better than them, not because you think they're less than you, because you're on a mission in life. But when you're not operating out of your purpose, guess what you do? You stop and listen to this person. You stop and listen to that person. What y'all got going on over here? So-and-so, what did they do? Who is this celebrity? Did you hear about what happened to so-and-so? You caught up in all this stuff that don't matter. That's how I know whether or not you operate out of your purpose. Are you moving with airport speed, or are you sitting there moving like you got 1,000 years to live your life? That's how you know. That's how you know. So anyways, real quick, before we get out of here, you guys, Mindset Masters, if you're ready to change your life, if you are truly ready to step into your calling, to step into your purpose, to start the journey of that. For some of you guys, you might already be on that journey, but maybe you're a little bit stuck, maybe you're trying to figure out some things. But if you are truly ready to step into your purpose, to step into your calling, the community that I'm getting ready to tell you about is exactly what you need. The community is called Mindset Masters. We are one of the fastest growing communities on social media to date. I'm going to teach you self-mastery at a 5-star level, self-awareness at a 5-star level, consciousness at a 5-star level, relationship mastery at a 5-star level, emotional intelligence at a 5-star level. I'm talking about Michael Jordan level, LeBron James level, Oprah level, Beyonce level. It's important. It's important. And again, once you become that master, it's all about application after that, right? The information is going to be there for you, but everything after that is about application. So, every single person on this live and on this platform has a purpose. Some of you guys may be on the journey of stepping into your purpose. Some of you guys may be trying to figure out how to get there. But the point not to be missed is, the environment that you are in, the people that you are surrounded by, who you allow to have access to you is more important than anything else when you are on that journey of becoming the greatest version of yourself. And that's what the Mindset Masters community is all about. The community comes, first of all, let me say this. Everything that I'm getting ready to tell you
Everything you're getting ready to hear about, it's going to cost you $1. $1 a day, $20. I'm cheaper than your coffee. That Starbucks coffee that you go and get, I'm cheaper than that. That muffin that you go and get in the morning, I'm cheaper than that. The gas you put in your car, I'm cheaper than that. I'm cheaper than all of that. But I'm going to add so much more value than every single one of those things combined. $29 a month, no contracts, no obligations. Let me tell you what comes with that. The first thing you're going to receive is a free copy of my book. You're going to get this book today. Okay. The Secret of Awareness, How Powerful Are You Going to Be? Because this book is essential to the community. The second thing that you're going to receive, and the book is not free, but the book is going to be free to you if you're signing up in the community today. It's very important that you understand that. You're going to also receive a copy of my e-course, The Fearless Mindset. That is essential to the community as well, because the combination of those two things are going to be your foundation, and you'll understand why later. I don't want to dive into that now, but later you will understand why. So you're going to get the book today, you're going to get the course today, right? And if the course costs you, if the community costs you $29 and you're getting the book today, so you've already broken even, right? But this is about you. This is about you. What's the cost of you never discovering your purpose? We never think about that. What's the cost of you never becoming the greatest version of yourself? What's the cost in you settling for the version of yourself that you almost could have become? What's the cost in all of that? Because that's what's important. Doesn't matter what the community costs. Doesn't matter what this book costs. None of that matters. See, here's what's important. When you get to the end of this thing that we call life, and you finally start to realize who you became and then who you could have become. Because there's no suffering that's going to be greater than that. There's who you became, and then there's who you could have become. But I didn't have the discipline. I didn't have the right people around me. I didn't show up like I should have. I didn't all of these things, and now we're carrying all this resentment and all of this regret and all of these other things like that. Nothing is more important. I tell you guys this all the time. Nothing is more important than you locking in and you discovering your purpose. There's nothing more important than that, beloved. There's nothing more important. So again, the Mindset Masters community, you guys, it's going to come with 2 life coaches, 1 executive coach. I will be the primary coach that'll be coaching you. So any questions that you have, that all of that will be directed toward me. So 2 life coaches, 1 executive coach. You're going to have access to all of my live streams like the one you're watching right now. We're talking hundreds of hours of content. You're going to have access to my podcast, which is exclusive to the Mindset Masters community. You're going to have access to what I write every single day, which is exclusive to the Mindset Masters community. And you're talking about so much content that if you were to just sit down and just read what's already there with respect to what's been written, I'm talking about some of the most powerful information that you're going to ever have access to. It would probably take you a year straight just to go through that. So you have 2 live coaches, you're getting that today, and 1 executive coach. You have access to all of my live streams, you're getting that today. You have access to the podcast, you're getting that today. You have access to what I write, you're getting that today. You're going to have access to the book, you're getting that today. You're going to have access to the course, you're getting that today. But the people in the community, let me say something real quick about that. The people in the community are doing the work. What does that mean? You won't find
Anywhere on social media, I don't give a damn where you look. You won't find anywhere on social media a community of people like the community that we built and created. Because not only are these people self-aware, not only are they emotional intelligent, not only are they becoming masters of themselves, not only have so many of them become coaches themselves, not only some of them have become authors, some of them have become content creators, some of them are hosting their own live stream platforms and different things like that. You will not find, I guarantee it, you will not find a community of minds like the one you're going to find in this community. You won't find it. That should be what we're charging for. The people that you are getting ready to have access to, you are not going to find it. See, I tell people all the time, you want to meet some of the most powerful people? Go to a motivational seminar. Go to a business conference. You ain't gonna find them people at the Beyonce concert. You're not gonna find them people at the Taylor Swift concert. You're gonna get a mixture of people. But when you go to that business conference or when you go to that motivational seminar, everybody in there is fired up. Everybody in there is motivated. Everybody in there is trying to change their life. Everybody in there is trying to become something better than they are at the moment when you encounter the person. They all have the right mindset. That's why I tell people, if you want to find the best people in the world, go to a business conference or go to a motivational seminar, because everybody in there is fired up. Everybody in there is operating at the highest vibrational frequency. That's my point. So when you step into this community, yeah, you're going to get the coaches, and yeah, you're going to get the book, and yeah, you're going to have the live streams, and yeah, you're going to have the podcast, and yes, all of the information that you need to transform your life is all in there as well. But I got to speak on the people that are in that community, because those are the people that need to be protected from all of these low vibrational people, from all of these people that don't really have a burning desire, from the people that are not really trying to change the world and not trying to change their life, because everybody in that community is forward thinking. I'm blown away by some of the feedback. I'm blown away by the strength of the conversations that we have. I'm blown away about the fact that we become a family. I'm blown away about who the heck they have become. Blown away. So yeah, the community is amazing. I'll give you that. But the people that you are getting ready to have access to, you won't find a body of people like that nowhere in the world. People that are genuine, people that are authentic, people not wearing the mask, people not pretending. You won't find it. And that have the mindsets to go with it. You will not find it. You won't find it. So if you are ready, truly ready to take your life to the next level, type me in the comments right now. Truly ready. Other than that, any question that I have, truly ready. So this is what you guys are going to want to do. Copy and paste. Let me see where God's girl is, or Tara is. Tara, pin that link up there for me, beloved, if you could. So what you want to do, copy and paste that link, you guys. Hold that link down for a second, copy and paste that link, put that link inside of your browser. Once you put that link inside of your browser, it's going to take you to the community. The whole process is going to take you a minute and a half. Once you guys get signed up today, you're going to get the book today. You're going to get me today as your coach. You're going to get the course today. And today is the beginning of forever. That's what today is. So again, copy and paste that link. Copy and paste that link. Put it inside of your browser, and then it'll take you to the community. You're going to get signed up, and then boom, you're going to be locked in. There's a tutorial inside of the community that I want you guys to watch. It's going to probably take you 5 minutes to watch the tutorial, but it's just going to tell you how the community works, where everything is, where you find this, how you find that, so that way you have no questions. If you do have questions, that's great, but the tutorial will pretty much answer the majority of any questions that you may have, just so that you understand how everything works, if that makes sense.